Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie. Today's reading is all about 2026. We're going to see what the year 2026 has in store for you. We're going to go on a month-by-month basis as well as with some oracles. So we have 7 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Kuromi deck. Pile 2, we have the Antique Anatomy deck. Pile 3, we have the Mystic Dreams Tarot. Pile 4, we have the Kitten Nugget Tarot. Pile 5, we have the 8th House Tarot. Pile 6, we have the Empyrean Mini Tarot. And pile 7, we have the Lucid Dreams Tarot. So take a few deep breaths, open up 2026. Let's see what 2026 has in store for you. And if you're interested in the love and romance, I do have that linked down in the description below. That's going to be an entirely separate reading from this. This is just in general. For this particular reading, and everything else is going to be on that. And I might do one for career as well, if for those of you who would like one. But yeah, let's take a few deep breaths. Think about 2026. Open your heart up, open your crown up, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the Kuromi Tarot, then we have your reading here for you about 2026. We're going to see what 2026 has in store for you. We're going to start with the oracles to get the overall themes, and then we're going to get into the tarot to ask more specifically month by month what the theme of each month will be and anything that may happen in that month. And then we're going to close off with some important dates as well as time frames that could be of importance here. So let's get started with your oracles, my pile 1. I woke up with a little bit of a weird congestion this morning, so sorry if I say or pronounce things weird. So let's start. We have power over 7 scorpions, power to conjure lower vibrational forces. You're overcoming some sort of negativity for sure this year. And I feel like that makes sense because year of the snake can be very, it can be intense. It can be a little overindulgent. Nothing against year of snake people, of course, but I feel like sometimes it's not if we were to see it as how would I say this? But optimistic versus pessimistic, I feel like snake is more, I guess, realistic, but honestly, me personally, I think I view it more pessimistic, and you're overcoming a lot of the negativity or overindulgence or anything that seemed to be overwhelming in the past year, because year of the horse, very optimistic, very bright, looking forward to things, moving on quickly. I feel like if there is room for negativity this year, it's not going to be much. That's what I'm seeing. So this is power over the 7 scorpions. The power to conjure lower vibrational forces, or to tell them where to go. If not conjure, then to tell them where to go. That's for sure. We have, I want to say this is pronounced Suilo. We have butterfly renewal, number 16. We have Sekhmet, bravery. And Erish Kigal, boundaries. Also have prosperity sisters, our happiness and joy. Like I said, lots of positive energy this year, number 36. And hold and heal. Ooh, holding the space to heal, holding that which heals you, being held in a space. I love this because it really does feel like you're stepping into very badass energy this year. Overall, I do see you being very, yes, setting boundaries, but not just setting them, but standing firm in them. I feel like you're going through a renewal of yourself where you're no longer putting up with things that you don't feel the need to put up with, where you're no longer putting up with negativity, with lower vibrational energy. I do feel like you're healing this year, and in a good way, not in a karmic way. And I know we're always healing, but here it's kind of like you're making it a point to take care of yourself in some sort of way, whether this is through self-care days, whether this is through taking time out of each day to tend to your inner needs, whether that is emotional, mental, or in any other way. I feel like you're taking care of what's going on inside in order to move forward, because there's this feeling that you're coming out of something, either something heavy, something dark, or maybe you recently ended a chapter that just wasn't the easiest. So this year you're focusing on the positive. If the previous year was one where it depleted you, this is going to be a year where you add back to your life, where you add back in positive ways. Because I do feel like for this pile, you haven't had the easiest 2025. And 2026, you're like, I'll be damned if I have another year like that. So you're making it a point to empower yourself. Because I'm seeing this energy of like not putting up with any BS. You could be focusing on your joy, your happiness, your peace. Renewal lets me know that anything that, because I'm kind of seeing a subscription here, where like if you didn't use that subscription enough, you're not gonna keep paying for it. I'm getting something similar here where like if something wasn't adding to your life, you're not bringing it with you. You're keeping it back there where it was. You're not gonna hold it and let yourself struggle here, because this card makes me think of the 10 of Wands, where the guy's got the wands on his back and he's struggling. And you're like, no, I'll be damned if I have to do that again. I'm healing. I'm healing so I don't have to struggle. I'm healing so I don't have to carry all this weight that may or may not be mine. But I feel like you're healing so you don't have to continue with either a pattern, a cycle, or some baggage from before. And I truly love this energy for you. I am going to read from the book for... Let me see what rune this is. I want to say it's... because there's two runes that look just like this. But one is like longer in the middle than the other. This is Iwas. Okay, it's not Suilo, it's Iwas. Or Iwas? Iwas. You tree. Stretching in all directions, we find new depths of the self. Stretching in all directions, we find new depths of the self. Yggdrasil, expansion, paradox, protection, and complexity. It's connected to the world tree in Norse mythology. This rune encompasses the complexity and paradox of spirit manifesting in physical form. This dynamic polarity draws in energy, allowing for a deep exploration of the expansiveness of the self. Yeah. And I do feel like you're kind of getting to understand and know yourself, especially in ways where you haven't understood what it meant to really be brave, or how, or wait, does that make sense? Or for some of you, this also comes through as independence, or coming through as in you, again, stepping into your boundaries, setting those boundaries. Because Sekhmet is a goddess. She's the Egyptian goddess, ancient Egyptian goddess of rage, among other things. So maybe some of you are coming from like an energy of anger, or just being fed up with something. And I feel like you're not carrying that. Like you're letting go of the anger or anything that is making you angry here. So this is you taking action, taking steps in a direction that is positive for you, because you're finally releasing something that's been weighing you down. Or maybe you already released it and you're kind of, through the year 2026, you're slowly unraveling all that which has been done in the past, which is really, really interesting. Numbers that are important, we have 36, so 3 years could be of importance because it's making me think of 36 months. Or somebody here could be turning 36, like I am this year. The number 16, the 16 of any month could be important, or it could be a date that is important to you of any month. Maybe something from when you were 16 years old could be resolved as well, depending on your age or what was going on, or any impactful things that happened at that age. So that's what I'm getting for the oracles. Let's move on to the tarot portion so we can see what each month will bring. And like I said, I'm going month by month. So we're going to start with January. And this will be like a major theme of that month. I'm also doing personal readings for 2026, which will be available until, I'm going to give it about the first week of the year. And I will leave that information in the description below. So pile 1, 2026. We have the 9 of Pentacles. For January, we have the 9 of Pentacles, reversed. Again, this is something about understanding how to be on your own, understanding your own boundaries, especially when it comes to the things that you share with people, the physical or even financial things that you share with people. The first month, I feel like some of you could be reassessing what you need, what you don't need. This could be like budgeting. But I'm also seeing it's like, how can you stand on your own? Where do you need people? Where do you not need people? Very strong independent energy, especially if it has anything to do with money. Or if it has anything to do with assets, I'm thinking of like, for example, let's say you live with somebody and you're trying to understand, is it worth my time, money, effort to be living with somebody, or am I better on my own? That's the kind of energy that's coming through, because maybe some of you would like your own personal space, but you don't want to share it with people, so you're kind of having to budget that in. Or another way of seeing this is like, how much does your peace cost? Because I feel like some of you, you just don't want to have to deal with other people's baggage. It's like, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. So take that as it resonates. I do feel like this has to do with the space you share, or the money you share, or even the resources that you may share with somebody. Whether, like, for example, I'm thinking of cars. Like, this would be like, would you rather ride your own vehicle? Would you rather drive your own vehicle, I should say, or ride public transport? Like, is it worth it to invest in your own vehicle versus just using public transportation for people who live in areas like that? If not, make that analogy apply to something else in your life here, because that's the energy that's coming through for that. So, pile 1, February. We have the 7 of Swords. Things are being revealed in February, because if I feel like you're going to either witness or hear shady things, and things are coming to the light. I'm going to get a clarifier for that one. 9 of Cups. This is you hearing what you've always wanted, or you being right about something that was shady, unfortunately. Whichever makes sense. If it's not shady, this would be like a secret. Like, so, you being right about a particular secret, you being right about something that you always figured was right. Because I'm kind of getting like, I knew it. Like, things like, it's weird. It could be either shady or not shady, I guess, depending on the situation. But let's say you've always had a feeling that a particular person felt a particular way about something, and for the longest time, you couldn't explain it or acknowledge it. You're going to be seeing that in February, because truths are coming to the surface in February, for better or worse. And I feel like it's going to shake you up, or it could shake up your environment. I'm seeing particularly the workplace for some of you, but it could also be family. It could also be your friends. But I'm seeing very strongly that you were right about something. But some of you may or may not be happy about that, because maybe you didn't want to be right about a particular thing, because maybe your intuition was picking up on something negative. But this is you. The positive thing is that, well, your intuition was right. The negative thing is the thing. But for some of you, this could also be positive. Like, this could be somebody trying to keep something secret, but you find out about it. This would be like somebody's keeping a secret for your birthday, but then you find out, that somebody's giving you a trip, and you kind of ruin your own surprise. That's what that is. This is you ruining your own. If it's positive, it's like ruining your own surprise. But it's coming through here. And I don't feel like it has to be something bad. It can be. It all depends on the situation, because I'm seeing 2 specific camps. It could be both. Maybe you're right about something negative, and you're also unwittingly coming into something positive that you weren't supposed to see right away. So take whichever resonates here, pile 1. All right, let's get into March. What is happening in the month of March for my pile 1? Oh, okay, you got 2. We have options. You're opening yourself up to options in March for sure, because we have the 8 of Swords reversed, and then the 7 of Cups upright. You're opening yourself up to options, or you're seeing options there that weren't there before, whatever they may be. This could be in love, in career, in any other thing. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you weren't seeing options, but they open themselves up in March for you. That was very straightforward. So March, if you need more time, if you can hold off until you make a decision until March this year, that would be helpful, because March will be a great time to start making decisions, or at least to consider what you can and can't do, to consider what possibilities you may have. Let's move into April. April, Ace of Swords, something new is beginning. It begins in your mind. It begins in your head. You will start planning, you will start beginning new things, but I see plans being set in motion in April, or at the very least putting down, like throwing out ideas, putting down ideas, like on paper, or throwing them out there. It's a great month to manifest, because you manifest just by thinking. I like the Ace of Swords because it's one of those cards where it's like, I'm hearing, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. But rewrite that and make it, I think it, I have it. I think it, I want it. Or I think it and I manifest. That's what I'm getting for April. So April's a great month to create new ideas, to start anything new for sure, especially in terms of communication or in terms of something that requires a lot of, like, think mercurial energy, like communication, speaking, thinking, those kinds of things. I feel like it's going to be a great month to start things. Let's see May for you, pile 1. We have the King of Wands. Interesting. I need clarification on that King of Wands. The Hierophant. Okay. This could be you stepping into this energy, or this could be you meeting somebody. But this King of Wands energy is somebody who knows what they want and goes after what they want. Very strong fiery energy, though it does not have to be a fire sign. This feels like somebody here is going after what they want. This could be going after you and they know what they want, or this could be you going after what you want. The Hierophant lets me know that there is a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of credentials behind this. So whatever this is, it's good, it's secure. If somebody offers you something, especially if they're like a very dominant masculine type, not a man, but somebody with masculine energy, which may be a man or a woman, they may come through to help you out, or they may have an offer that is very difficult to refuse because there's nothing bad about it. Because the Hierophant, it can be karmic lessons, but it can also be everything that we've learned in life. So I'm kind of seeing something having validity, something that makes sense. If somebody makes you an offer in May, it's going to be a good offer, and there's going to be not much about it that is negative. This could be you knowing what you want and going exactly what you want, like going after what you want. Because I keep hearing you know what you want, or somebody knows what they want. Or this could be everybody involved. It's like you may only deal with King of Wands characters in May because you're kind of done putting up with people who are wishy-washy, or who don't know what they, who don't know what they want. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm kind of loving this energy. It's no nonsense energy, a little bit of Aries energy, even though May isn't Aries. That would be April and March. But this is strong, fiery energy. Maybe there's a particular planet in Aries that month that is going to be impactful, whether it's Mercury or Venus or maybe Mars. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the ephemeris for this year, but I am getting that energy. All right. And then June, we have the Devil. Okay, so there could be certain bad habits that come back around in June. Maybe not conversely. On another way to put it, June could be a month of self-indulgence for sure. So either bad habits or self-indulgence. You will know what your thing is. Can I get clarification on that? Five of Swords. Yeah. Some of you could be deciding to leave something behind, again, because it's no longer good for you, or because you're tired of wasting your time and energy on it. So June, something either comes to an end, or you start noticing something and you take action on it, or you're at the very least acknowledging that something isn't great for you. But I'm also kind of seeing it's like, I can't live with it, can't live without it, whatever this is. This could be an environment, a friend, a situation, a habit, because usually Devil makes me think of habits. So that's what I'm picking up on. I'm also hearing you could take it or leave it. So maybe some of you are acknowledging that you're better off without something as well in June. Especially if there's something in June that rolls around every year. That's what I'm seeing. The number 5 could be important, which is really interesting because we have the Hierophant, which is 5, the Devil, which is 15, and then the 5 of Swords. All right, let's get your card for July. We have the Knight of Cups. Lovely. Okay, so there's something, either you're reigniting like a passion project in July, or somebody with like a lot of love and a lot of passion towards you will be of importance in July, whichever makes sense. This could be a great time to, if you're interested in romantic endeavors, to focus on those. If you already have a partner, to take up some romantic outings, or to make romantic plans, or to just like move your connection forward. If you don't have somebody, it would be a great time to meet somebody, or to maybe get closer to somebody that you're already kind of interested in. So July is a much easier month, especially because if you have decided to reject the negativity back here in June, I feel like this really opens up the pathway for this passion that is coming in July, or this this love, or even like an offer of love, whatever it is. But I see easier times in July for sure. Let's move on to August for my pile 1. Okay, these two flipped out. Okay, we have Strength and we have the 7 of Wands. Like I said, you're making things easier for you. You're making things easier for yourself. You're overcoming something, especially an ego, because the 7 of Wands can sometimes be like that part of yourself that's always defensive or constantly having to defend yourself. It's defensive energy. Like even when you don't need to be defensive, you might get defensive, or something, some sort of circumstance could put you in that energy in that month, and you're overcoming it. It's like acknowledging that you have an ego, and sometimes that ego is a bit out of place. Acknowledging that sometimes your ego keeps you small, so you're no longer being a victim of your own ego here, because we all have ego to some extent. That doesn't mean that it can be unhealthy, but in this case, I'm kind of seeing it kind of try to overtake your life or your life decisions, and you're deciding to think better of it. That's what's coming through for August. So I love that energy. Also, the number 8 could be important because you got the 8th card of the Major Arcana for August, which is the 8th month. Let's get a card for September. We have the Knight of Swords. Is there a Mercury retrograde in September? If not, Knight of Swords is that energy of things either being miscommunicated or not having enough communication or enough information to go off of. So September, make sure you're doing your research, make sure you're double checking with everybody, make sure that everybody's on the same page, make sure you're sending those emails. It's like a personal Mercury retrograde month, which is interesting because I've already had some personal readings where I've had to tell this to people where it feels like either a Venus or a Mercury retrograde personal month for them. So for you, pile 1, regardless of whether there is one or not, that's how it's going to feel for you. So September, communication is going to be all over the place. Do double check everything because you may not be seeing the full picture, or you may not be getting everything. So October, we have the Knight of Wands. This is cute. October is going to be really fun. You're going to be doing a lot of things. You're going to be going to a lot of places. You're going to have a lot of energy to take on new endeavors, begin new things. You're definitely going out, and you're definitely like having a fun time for sure. Because I see a lot of fun in October for you, pile 1. Also a lot of energy. So maybe you're more active than usual, or maybe you have a lot more things going on. Yeah, I love this energy because I feel like you have a lot going on, but it's fun. So you may be tired, but it's like it's worth it, or like a labor of love. Like if it's something difficult, I don't see difficulty though. It's more like, let's say you have a lot of parties to go to, or you have travel plans and you're going everywhere, or you have like something to do every week. You're going to be tired, exhausted, but it's worth it for the fun and memories and all the things that you get to do and experience. For November, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Can I get clarification? You're holding on to something that is... There's something about holding on to something that if you do in the long run may end up disappointing you. So in November, it's better to let go, because I see you holding on to something, but whatever you're holding on to, it's kind of like, I'm seeing literally the image of holding on to like a little hedgehog or like a cactus. You're holding on to something that's hurting you. So release it. In November, this could be something physical. It could be an environment, a person, a situation. You're holding on to something that is better to be let go of. Because we literally have the 3 of Swords. Think of it, holding 3 swords. And the notion that you keep wanting to hold something. The only thing you should be holding for is peace and space for yourself to heal. Much like how we went through in the oracles. Because there was this sensation, or not the sensation, there was that card of holding. But now I'm feeling that sensation that holding onto something is causing you more harm than good. Whether this is mentally, emotionally, or in any other way. The best way I can describe this, I've seen people who decide to stay in relationships, and it doesn't have to be a relationship, it could also be a friendship. They decide to stay close to somebody that either directly or indirectly affects them in a negative way. I've seen this especially, and I say relationships, love relationships, because sometimes people hold on to people that are no good for them, and then you'll see them start just getting all sorts of either physical ailments, or they start losing money, or they just start looking like they just start looking not good, like even physically. Like I've seen, you know, friends that they get with somebody and suddenly they don't look well, and it's happened to me as well, where I've been with people and the people around me will be like, are you okay? You don't look well. You know, as soon as I started getting into a relationship with them, it's like, I'm fine. But it's like you don't know it until you're out of it. So November is definitely a time to let go. It may be difficult because maybe November is not the ideal month to be letting go. I know a lot of people, especially, again, if we're thinking about like romantic relationships or even friendships or family, they want to hold on to things because, oh, the holidays are coming up and we shouldn't release it because it's a bad timing or whatever. But honestly, it's better for it to be gone as soon as it can be gone, whatever it is. This could be something physical as well, like a home or a car or whatever. It doesn't have to be people, but I say people because I think they have the biggest effect on us. All right, and then we have December. This could also be to let go of the sadness, by the way. For those of you who are not feeling great, and I know it's easier said than done. Sometimes you just can't let go of the sadness, but if you somehow can, this would be a great time to do so. Or to let go of the disappointment. Like acknowledge it, know that it's there, feel it, but don't hold on to it. December, we have the King of Cups. This is beautiful. Okay, so in December, I do feel like you're feeling loved, you're feeling adored, and even if you're not, you feel that within yourself for yourself, and you're able to give it freely. It's because I see a very strong, healthy, emotional outlook in December, where you're full of love, full of joy, mostly love for everybody and yourself, because love is something that we are. It's not something that we can have it, but mostly it's something that we are. And when we acknowledge that we are an embodiment of love, an embodiment of everything that is good in this world, I feel like it's easier to share it with everybody. It's like, why am I seeing Mr. Rogers? Like I'm seeing that kind of energy where like he was just full of so much compassion for his friends and everybody. Not that I watch Mr. Rogers a lot, nor that I know much about him, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting. It's like somebody who's like, you know, a good neighbor or like a good friend, a good relative. Like you're making it a point to be something good in this world. Not saying that you weren't before, but you're really making it a point to like be a presence of love in people's lives. I'm not sure what happens between November and December, but I can tell it's a huge transformation because I'm getting like this energy of sadness and like having a hard time releasing something. And then I just see you stepping into love, stepping into beautiful energy. And I kind of like this. I also left the transgression here from like Knight of Cups here in mid-year to King of Cups. This could also be that if that person you meet back in July could decide to be something more solid, more stable, and more serious by the end of the year. But take that only if it resonates. I do have my 2026 love predictions already posted. If you'd like to go see that, I will link that in the description or comments below. So yeah, maybe some of you might want to go see that because I am picking up on that energy here. Back of the deck, we have the three of Wands. It's a busy year for you for sure. It's going to be hard to sit still, so it might be a good idea to plan things out in order to get everything in this year. Or plan it out as soon as you can. The Chariot and the Page of Cups. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be a successful year. Not without its hiccups, of course. The Chariot reversed makes me think of like there could be bumps in the road. But it's going to be a great successful year here. And anything negative, I'm seeing you overcome. Because yeah, it's going to have its ups and downs, but I'm seeing you overcome negativity here. So with that said, let's get your final cards, which are going to be important dates. I'm using my Say When Oracle to see any important times or key dates this year. And then I'll also get my Astro Dice. Actually, let me throw those out first. So this could get a little loud. Libra, 9th house, and Saturn? No. Yeah. I forget that Saturn sometimes looks like like Jupiter reversed. So it's definitely going to be a year of growth, because I know people tend to dislike Saturn because it's like serious and it's hard work. But me personally, I got Saturn in Capricorn and like a Capricorn stellium in my outer planets. And I'm also an earth sign, like major earth sign. It's actually my biggest trine is my sun and my Saturn. So that makes me a hard worker and a little serious. People complain about my seriousness. However, I don't think that's a bad thing. It just means that it's a year for you to get your shit together here, pile one. Especially if you've been needing it. And I'm not saying that you haven't had it before. But if either you're somebody who really likes to have their ish together, or it's going to be a year for you to get your ish together. And it's going to feel fun because the 9th house is a house of like expansion, travel, learning, spirituality. And when you put those two together, it's kind of like you learn through the spiritual. So instead of learning through hard lessons, you're learning through looking inward and acknowledging where you're lacking, where you're doing well, and where you can find balance. Think of the Temperance card. So great energy. Libra is putting emphasis on like harmony, peace, and even relationships or friendships, if those are of importance to you. Some of you could have Saturn in Libra, which would be, oh, what generation is that? I forget, but some of you could have Saturn in Libra or Saturn in the 9th house or Libra in the 9th house. And if you have Libra in the 9th house, that means you have, is it Aquarius rising? So some of you could be Aquarius rising as well. And that's only approximately, because the houses aren't always like in line with the... I use the version of astrology that allows the houses to be as big or small as they are. I forget what it's called. Anyway, pile one, important dates. We have the 20th of any month, beginning of spiritual journey, think more about life mission, balance, big dreams come true. Yeah, that was the energy I was getting for this entire reading for you. We have summer, embark on new adventure, energy, passion, freedom. What did I say? Especially July. Especially if summer is in July where you live here, pile one. But there's like a newness, there's a journey, there's like adventure here. 5, major change incoming, spiritual growth, guidance, encouragement, self-confidence, care, and affection. May 20th could be important. I'm gonna get 5. We have March, observant, emotional, compassionate, imaginative, and dreamer. March could be an important month. Pisces or Aries could be an important month. Important signs. I'm also thinking of like the astrological new year. March 5th or 20th could be important. And we have winter. End of a cycle and rebirth. Yeah, I love this. Like I said, especially summer through winter will be important times for you, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, because that's July to December respectively. So I'm getting that energy for you. These are important time frames. And one last thing. For pile one. Today is filled with infinite potential and possibility. Not just today, but literally this entire year. That's kind of what I was getting. Newness, potential, possibility, positivity. It's like stepping into high vibrational energy. Therefore, you create new storylines, new possibilities, and breaking free of anything negative this year for sure. But this is where I leave it, pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the Antique Anatomy Tarot, then we have a reading here for you for your 2026 predictions. We're going to see what the year 2026 has in store for you. We're going to start with oracles, and we're going to get into the tarot. And we're going to do it on a month-by-month basis. So let's get your oracles. I do have a song for you. I don't listen to this song often. It's the song by Andrea Bocelli. Is it Con te partiro? Which, if I remember correctly, I think that means how do I leave you? How do I move on without you or go on without you or something like that? I haven't heard it in a long time, and I'm not even sure of what the lyrics are. But that song is coming through for this pile. So maybe some of you like opera, maybe some of you have a bond to Italy, the Italian language, or that could be your heritage. But that song's coming through. I'm not quite sure what it's about. So let's go ahead and get your cards. We have soul retrieval, deep soul healing with the goddess. Oh, I love this. This is like an energy healing card because of the hands and the light that is coming out of the hands, or at least that's how it looks like. We also have past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you, the many spiritual faces of you. So I do feel like it's going to be a particularly spiritually elevating year for a lot of you. There's something here about you could be reaching into past life energy, whether that's healing things from the past life, or you could even do something like a past life regression this year that is going to be pivotal or life-changing for you. To me, past life, whenever I do my energy healing, because there's a particular way I do my energy healing, sometimes it can even mean like pre-life, like before you were born, what was going on in the womb, what was going on between your parents, what was your family's energy, the environment around you, or even what was happening in like your hometown or your country before you were born. So some of you could be healing things like that. Think of like ancestry healing or family lineage healing. So a lot of you could be focusing on that, or it would benefit you to focus on that at least for some part of the year in order to heal you or heal an aspect of you. We have Izanami potential. We have Mamiwata, good fortune. We have create. Ooh, lots of beautiful things happening for you. So I do feel like you're going to be having an abundance this year of some sort, because I do see you creating and feeling and experiencing beautiful things, which is typical of whenever you have like a really good deep healing. Like the life just feels better. The world feels better. Even the way you carry yourself can be quite different. It's making me think of people that I know that whenever they go through something positive, or whenever they've gone through like a change in their life, they start getting a slight glow up, and it's not really in their physical appearance. It can just be in the way they carry themselves. Because I'm thinking of somebody I know used to walk around all slumped, all annoyed looking, and suddenly, for whatever reason, this person is now like walking with their chest puffed up, feeling confident, not cocky, but confident. And I'm getting that kind of energy. So a lot of you could be looking better too as a result of the things you're doing this year. We have sovereignty. Yeah, like you carry yourself with sovereignty. Stop, drop, and ground. Grounding could be really important. The 31st of this year could be important, or any month that ends with the 31 days, that has 31 days. That could be important as well. Okay, we have sovereignty again and crown. Wow. The 27th could also be important. So the 27th through the 31st of any month could be important. Interesting that you got sovereignty twice. You know what? I'm actually going to look up the dictionary definition of sovereignty, because some words can have like multiple meanings, and maybe I'm only thinking of the one meaning. You have Isa, ice, which is a standstill, and Udru, which is one of the fate lines. And I want to say, I don't remember if it means past or future or present, but it's I want to say it's tied to like the lines of fate. Oh, okay, I opened up right to it. Crazy. What has become? The past is always beside us. Yeah, like I said, you're definitely tapping into past life energy that is somehow allowing you to walk taller. It's like you walk with your ancestors. I'm thinking of the Black Panther, the movie, where before anyone becomes the Black Panther, they take the ritual and they see their ancestors, and that's kind of meant to empower them because they carry the power of their ancestors with them. I'm getting that kind of energy. Ooh, I love that pile too. It's also one of my favorite movies for that reason. I love the spiritual aspects of Black Panther. It's literally my favorite thing in the whole world of the Marvel universe. It's the only redeeming movie for me. So yeah, you could go through something similar. Like maybe you have like a spiritual awakening or reawakening or level up of some kind, and you see something similar. And that's going to empower you in yourself, in your life. It's going to bring good fortune. It's going to make you see the potential, and it's going to give you like purpose. Like even as I'm tapping into this energy, I feel like I'm getting lit up and sparked by something. It just feels amazing. Ooh, I love it. Whatever this is, pile 2, I'm here for it. I'm excited for you. Now, Isa does make me think that there could be at some point this year, sometime where you just take a break from everything, that could be when you do this. Maybe you literally do like a spiritual retreat, or you may decide to take some time off for yourself. Doesn't matter when. It could be during the winter season because this is ice. And I'm also thinking of like places that are cold. And by that I mean, like it could mean several things. Like if it's cold where you're going during that season, like in the Southern Hemisphere, it's going to be during the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. So, because I'm thinking of the glaciers down in like, in South America, which maybe you could go there for the winter. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, or vice versa, depending on where you live. If you live in the Southern Hemisphere, you could come up here during the winter time in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope that makes sense, but you know what I mean. The hemispheres have different seasons regardless. Or you could be going somewhere that is typically cold. I'm thinking of places like the Nordic regions, or the northern regions like Alaska, Iceland, Russia, places that are just typically more cold. Take that only if it resonates and only if it's your thing, of course. But ice could itself be healing, because think of the many stages of ice. It's water, and then it's ice, and then it evaporates, becomes a gas, and then it becomes water again. So I feel like you're going through some sort of cycle, and this one in particularly is when you become ice, when you become firm, strong, and solid. Or it's like, what are you freezing within this time frame? What are you deciding to focus on here before it eventually melts down or evaporates or whatever? So I love this energy. Let me look up sovereignty. I'm glad I looked it up, because one of the definitions was supreme excellence. And I'm like, yes, that is my pile too. That is the energy my pile too is stepping into this year. Supreme excellence, but also to be able to govern yourself, to be able to decide for yourself what you want to do, who you want to be. I was also getting a lot, of course, about like sovereign nations and countries and stuff like that. But it's making me think that maybe for a lot of you, you could be deciding to identify with like a new nationality if you are moving or something like that. Take that only if it resonates, and take that only if it means anything to you. But definitely the notion that you are your own creator, your own ruler. You decide what you want to be, because let's say you do your past life stuff and you find out that it's not great. You still decide to be who you want to be. Or even if it is great, you might decide to take that up. Maybe some of you have like a really, really long lineage and it's somehow tied to like royalty. Because I have read that for somebody before, where like several generations back, like their family was royalty. But of course, this was back in the days where like small kingdoms, small nations were a thing. But even then, that was really interesting to read energy like that. So that's what I'm getting. What else is coming through? Besides all the amazing things. Some of you could be wearing more things in your hair. Like, because I'm seeing like all the things, like, of course there's crowns here. But then there's also like these butterflies. What are these butterflies? And like branches, which are really pretty. And flowers, yeah. And then she's wearing like this tiara. Again, very lovely. And even like, these look like beads. These look like pearls. Yeah, she's wearing pearls in her hair. Oh, that's lovely. Some of you could travel a lot. If you're not traveling, then at the very least, you're doing research on where you're from. If that applies to you. If you have always been curious about where you're from, maybe that's what you're doing. But yeah, love this energy for sure. Love it. With grounding, I'm getting this interesting way of viewing it. Sometimes grounding is just acknowledging that you are human in a human body, and that we chose this lifetime and in a human body for a reason. It could also be, of course, a traditional way of grounding, like making sure that you're stable, making sure that you're here, and not too much in your head, and more focusing on the practical things. But I am seeing that for you. It's like paying homage to what you were reincarnated as in this lifetime. So with that said, let's get into your tarot pile 2. Like I said, we're doing this month by month. The months could kind of blend in together. That does happen. And this is the overall theme of that month. But it could also last you like a whole year, or it could pop up a lot this year. Take it as it resonates. So let's start with January for pile 2. All right, we have, interesting, the Devil. How does that want to come out? It's facing the past. Yeah, because it keeps facing that way. It's facing the past. So upright, but it's facing the past. Interestingly, January is also Capricorn season. So this is especially hitting true if you are a Capricorn. But we're dealing with things of the past that maybe you're not proud of. Maybe that you are letting go. Bad habits that you're breaking. Or even just anything from your past that has been haunting you is what I'm hearing. Because remember, in the Rider-Waite, it's the Devil up top and then the 2 people bound in chains on the bottom. So it's like, what is haunting you from your past? Or it could be your past calling you, and you might be either afraid to heed the call, or you might be afraid to even come face to face with it. This, again, it could be a bad habit. It could be something from your past that you're not proud of. But I feel like if you were to face it head on, it would have less power over you. It would have less control over you in some way. So I do see you dealing with something from the past that is time to shake off. So this is like a bad habit. Maybe a person involved or people involved, again, because we were talking about lineages, family heritage lineages, and like the possibilities of it being negative. Because I'm being shown Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and how he had one of the best character developments in any show for sure, but he had to deal with like the past, his family's past, which was not great. You know, I feel like it's something along those lines. Not only that, but I always assumed he was a Capricorn. Like, I know they're fictional characters, and I know they don't go by like the horoscopes that we have, but I always like to assume certain people are certain signs. Most people in that show are Capricorns. I think the creators are that sign as well, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so, or at least one of them. So yeah, you're dealing with things from your past and reconciling with them. And the more peace you bring to that, or the more you face it head on, the better you will have of, again, getting that sovereignty back, feeling sovereign over yourself. So interesting that came out first. The 15th of that month could be important. Let's move on to February. We have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, and she wants to be reversed. You're reassessing, well, several things. You're either reassessing the way you come off to people, or you could be going through a certain glow up that doesn't feel like a glow up. The best way I can explain this on a superficial level is like when people stop wearing makeup and they somehow look better than when they do wear makeup. I don't know if you've ever met somebody or seen somebody like that. It's like, oh wow, you actually look better when you're not doing all that stuff. It's kind of like that. So I'm getting that you're doing less and caring less about your image, and somehow it's actually looking better. Or this could also be like you being low maintenance about something and it somehow works out for you. I'm going to get a clarifier for this one. Another way of seeing this is releasing control. Ironically, the more control you release, the more control you have over yourself. So this could be control over a situation, control over certain aspects of your life, maybe control over people. I see this a lot in like parents who want to control their kids, dictate everything about their kids, which is understandable because they're your kids. But sometimes when you let go of that, you see that they are fine on their own because they're at one point meant to leave you and be their own people. So I'm also getting that. But let me get a clarifier for this Queen of Wands. We have the Tower. Yeah, and it's going to come out of nowhere. Like, this is unexpected. Again, this would be like you were meant to take control of something. You were meant to step into some sort of power, and then it doesn't happen, but things end up being just fine. This is like, let's stick with that example about children. Let's say you were meant to take care of your kids, or you were meant to babysit somebody, or you have to leave, but then you have to leave them alone for like a little bit. And it turns out that they were fine. And of course, this is like kids of a certain age, like once they're able to take care of themselves, like older kids. I'm getting something like that. I'm trying to think of any other way of explaining this, like the makeup thing or the clothes thing. Let's say you don't have access to makeup and you decide to go the whole month without makeup and you look good somehow, or you try different clothes. I see this a lot with people who travel and forget to pack something, So then they have like a whole new style because they're having to buy clothing from that region, which may or may not be their style. Usually it's not. I'm getting something like that. So maybe that literally happens, but regardless, this could also mean that maybe you decide to step down from a position of power in the workplace. But ironically, you're happier and yeah, maybe you're making less money, but your quality of life improves somehow. So that's what I'm seeing for February. Which makes sense. February, especially Aquarius and Pisces, they're not really about being in control. I mean, Aquarius can be for sure, but they're not really about being in control. It's like less is more in the month of February. Let's get your card for March. Interesting card so far, that's for sure. We have the Star. Okay, March is a beautiful month because there's a lot of hope here. There's also a lot of potential and even options because this little hand, it looks like it's trying to pick out like leaves and flowers and whatever these vertebrae may be. So I'm seeing a lot of potential for you in March, or you could be making plans. There's a lot of hope here. There's also a lot of, I'm seeing like a little promise of love for some of you, which isn't always how I interpret the star, but it's like wishing on a star, and it's wishing for something that you want, something that's your heart's desire for sure. Think of like a Disney movie, wishing upon a star. Something along those lines. That's really cute, actually. Let's move on to April. We have the Three of Swords. Ups and downs this year for sure. Can I get clarification on the Three of Swords? Okay, that one wanted to fall out. And okay, somebody says, oh, Page of Swords versus King of Swords. This is definitely either a disagreement. Again, I'm thinking of family. This could be like a child versus a parent. This could be, if it's the workplace, it could be somebody like a boss versus somebody who is much lower than them. But there is heartbreak here because there is two people at odds, two people who are in the right. Honestly, I feel like it's a matter of differences that is causing, like, think of like generational arguments, like how it's always, you know, things like boomers versus millennials, or boomers versus Gen Z, or Gen X versus Gen Z, like things like that. I'm getting something that there is a difference of opinion because of the experiences that each person has had. And because each person has experienced life differently, it's like they cannot come to terms with who is right. I feel like both people are right, but the biggest thing is the ego getting in the way, or somebody here, because of their power, has the final say, even though they're not completely right. So this is especially true in the workplace, so do be careful in the workplace. It could also be like a family member, particularly an older family member or younger, depending on which side you are on here. This has to be my pile of people who already have children, specifically children entering adolescence, because I am at that age now where some of my friends have teenagers, and I'm just sitting here like, when did this happen? When did everybody become a teen? You know, they're 13, 14, and 15. And I'm like, yeah, that checks out because, gosh, I think one of my friends, their oldest is now 16. And I'm like, they're driving. That's crazy. But I'm getting a little bit of that. So depending on who you are here, there's like a disagreement. But I feel like it's one that was kind of obvious. So like I said, if you have kids, this could be the case. If not, then this is somebody above you somehow exerting their power over you. And maybe that's why the word sovereignty came out twice for you in the oracles. Let's get your card for May. We have the Four of Swords reversed. So May is going to be one of those, I think typically May is a very chill month for you, but reversed, I feel like you're actually going to be doing a lot more than you typically do. Instead of being able to relax, you end up doing more. You could have more insomnia in May as well, or you could just be up more. Like, I feel like you're not getting enough sleep because you have more energy. I feel like this is what you want. It's making me think of, again, when I went to Iceland, and during the month of May, because I went toward the end of May, like the last week,
It was still super sunny, like as bright as it is right now. It was this bright at like 11 p.m. at night because I arrived at like 10 p.m. at night, and I was just running all over town. But it was so bright, and it was empty because people were asleep. You know, it was nighttime. And to me, it just kind of shocked me. So I had all this energy because I had the sun out, and I was like walking around, and I'm like, huh, this is weird. Because I'd never experienced the being that close to the poles and how that time change affects people. Or not time change. I mean, yes, it was a time change, but it was also the midnight sun, how it affects people. So I'm getting a little bit of that. I'm also getting that you could be having a lot to do. I feel like you have a lot of energy in May, which is really interesting because May is Taurus, and Taurus likes to take things chill. They like to relax. But I feel like you're feeling either the fiery Aries energy, which I think is going to be happening in May because I read that in another reading. I'm not sure if it was like a past pile or a personal reading, which I'm still doing, by the way. Or if it was... if it's Gemini, because Gemini can also be restless, more mentally than physically, but it can also translate to physically for Gemini. So May, you're going to be doing a lot. You're going to want to rest, but it's going to be difficult to rest, so you just end up doing things. It's like you can't sleep, so might as well get up and go do something. It gives insomnia here. Let's get the rest of your cards. So for June, an interesting year for you for sure. We have the Magician reversed. Here is this energy of letting go of power again. I feel like you're trying to manifest something in July, or you're trying to set up a plan, but things don't go according to plan here because part of your I guess one of your lessons this year is that you have to release control, or you have to just go with the flow a little bit more, because that's kind of an overarching theme so far in every single month, is that yes, you can plan things, but also don't expect them to go exactly to plan. So let's say you make a plan, but it only goes like 75% the way you intended it to. Don't focus on that 25% because it's only going to get you in your head, and it's only going to spiral you in some way, is what I'm getting. So yes, go ahead and manifest, but also be careful with your manifestations, because sometimes this could come through as mismanifestation. Like when you manifest, for example, I see this a lot with people who manifest like, a lover into their life, but they forget to make them, loyal or emotionally mature, emotionally caring, or even just good with finances. Because the last thing people think about in love is like being good with money, but that's also important because it helps you build a future. If that's something that's of importance to you, or even if you do have money, you still want somebody on your level who can handle the wealth that you bring. Because I'm being shown a few examples of that. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for July is manifestation. And being careful with how you manifest. For August, we have... Sorry, that was June. I kept saying July. That's interesting. That was June. June and July. July, we have a... Interesting. Can I get clarification on July? Because we have the 8 of Swords, which is a... And I think that's the result as of what happens in June. Because like you mismanifest something, it's kind of like you become... You start questioning your power. You start questioning your ability to do something. But, oh, interesting. But then it gets resolved right away. So it's interesting. We have 8 twice, and I do feel like August will be an important month as well. So as a result of what's been happening in the past year, I feel like it kind of starts taking a hold of you, because there's this energy of like fearing falling into victim mentality, or feeling like nothing you do goes right. But then something happens that kind of like distracts you, or something happens quickly. I'm seeing like, I don't know why this is. I'm seeing this in a movie. Like when somebody tries so hard to do something that they're ready to give up. And as soon as they're ready to give up, it comes in. That's what I'm seeing. Because sometimes you just have to let go of the notion, like let it go in your mind, let it stop taking up space in your head, and then it happens. It's like you keep trying to start a car and you keep trying to start it, you keep trying to fix it, and it's like, what's going on with this? And as soon as like you do that one last final one, boom, it starts happening. So there's like a delayed manifestation, or like something that is delayed, but it happens at the last minute. So yeah, that's what's happening. July specifically, because I kept confusing this with June. But June and July, those 2 months, interesting. Or maybe you think something is going to happen in July and it actually happens in June, or vice versa. So yeah, those 2 months could run on for the both. Yeah, those 2 months could run on for you here, Pile 2. Sorry, I'm being brought this weird imagery. I had the weirdest dream. It was like a sci-fi dream. It was so cool. Where I'm handed like this bag that also it looks like a dog. And I thought it was just a bag. And then somebody like stops me and it's like, hey, you know how to work that, right? And apparently it's a dog that guides me in the direction I'm supposed to go. Like it's a video game. And it's so weird. So I'm carrying this bag and I'm asking it, hey, where do I go next? And it starts pointing its nose in a direction. And I'm like, that is so cool. And then I also ask it silly things just to test it out. And I'm like, hey, where's the nearest Starbucks? And the dog points the other way. And I'm like, that is amazing. So I'm kind of seeing something like that happening here for you. You manifest something and you think it doesn't work, but then it does. And it works better than you thought it could in these 2 months. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, that's cool. So that's coming full circle here. Okay, August for my pile 2. Oh, I wish that existed. And then after that, it gets weird. It gets like super sci-fi weird. Because then I get into an area where people are cloning people and taking their identities and stuff. I'm like, what is this? So, oh my gosh, my dreams are cool sometimes, I swear. Okay, August. August, we have the King of Cups, and that's why August is important. This is you tapping into your emotions again, feeling your emotions, understanding that taking care of yourself the way you feel is important here. And the way people make you feel is important. There could also be something here about like father energy if you want to tap into that. But mostly it's your emotions. Are you neglecting them? Are you taking care of them? Are you acknowledging them? Are they being accounted for in the decisions you make, or are they guiding your life? I feel like it's important for you to tap into emotions. There's also something to be said about emotional maturity here, because I'm not calling you emotionally immature. It's more like you develop a new sense of it. I get this sometimes when there is like an ego death, and instead of like fighting the emotions and feeling tense about it or denying them, you acknowledge them, you accept them, and that makes you feel light. That's what I'm seeing for a lot of you. And interesting that it's right below the star card. Some of you could have things like a moon in Aquarius or a moon in an air sign. There's a lot of air in this particular pile, but also moon in Capricorn is coming through, which can sometimes feel like a moon in an air sign because it can be a little bit emotionally, not numb. What's the word? They have a hard time coming to peace with their emotions, especially in their youth. Like it doesn't really happen until they're older, or until they have children, or until they heal that inner child. Let's get the rest of your cards here. But yeah, August is going to be important when it comes to your feelings. This would also be a really good month for romance for those of you who are interested in it. And I do have the Love 2026 reading already up. I'll link that in the description below if you're curious. So September, we have the 6 of Pentacles. September is going to be a balancing month. Sorry, the 4 of Pentacles. Oh, interesting. I just realized that this layout is all messed up. That explains why I thought this was July. Okay, June, July, August, September. Okay, so September is going to be... I am seeing balance, but I'm also seeing what do you get to keep and what needs to be released. What do you get to keep and what needs to be released? Think of like Marie Kondo, what sparks joy and what doesn't. I'm going to get a clarification for this one because anytime the 4 of Pentacles comes up, it's holding on and releasing. So specifically, what are we doing here? We've got, the 7, the 7 of Swords, releasing past promises or falsehoods. It's like, where have people lied to you? Where have you still been holding on to like the past promises? Or where have you been holding on to somebody's words here? Because I feel like holding on to some idea, some word, or some something that even felt like a lie, now that time has passed, is doing you more harm than good. I see this a lot with people who, like, for example, they end up in a very unhealthy relationship or in a relationship that is clearly meant to end, but they keep holding on to like the first words this person told them, or like all the I love yous that they've told them. But it's like, does that ring true anymore? I'm getting a little bit of that because I feel like some of you are holding on and deciding to release everything that doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, what weight, what value does this have? So you're releasing, especially things that were like false promises. I'm thinking of things like an engagement ring after you divorce. It's like, it doesn't hold the same meaning. It becomes something else entirely. So you could be doing that. I know I've been guided to do that because I will keep things from previous relationships because they're practical and useful and because I like them, you know, like a good hoodie or a blanket or something like that. But sometimes I'll even ask Spirit, I'm like, is it good for me to hold on to this? And Spirit will say, no, you can find better. And I'm like, okay. So I have to let go of like my favorite blanket because of the energy it has. And I'm not saying you have to agree with that. Maybe you don't think that's true. That's okay. You don't have to. Because I can already hear some people say, it's like, well, I'm not getting rid of that. Also, it's difficult to get rid of certain things like a house or like a car or something like that. Like, obviously it's going to be more difficult. But if you can, and if it's something that's possible for you to do, release the things that hold memories or that hold an energy of the past that don't matter anymore. So I'm getting that. Again, I'm thinking of engagement rings. Some people will keep them anyway, and some people sell them, and some people may pass it on to like their children, you know, things like that. So that's what I'm seeing for September. October for pile 2. And a Virgo, especially Virgo season, would reassess like what's important to keep and what do we need to let go. All right, October, we have, fun, the 6 of Wands. There is a victory here. You win something here. You're going to win something or have some sort of success in October. It's going to make you feel great. It's going to make you feel good. You're going to ride that high for some time as well. Because I feel like a lot of this year has been up and down or just full of like craziness. But it's like finally acknowledging. I love how it starts over here in August. You acknowledge your feelings. You let go of things that you know hold nasty or negative or unnecessary energy. And then you feel successful. The best way I can describe this, especially for those of you who are into feng shui, like sometimes just cleaning up a space and making it over can bring new energy into it, or getting rid of unnecessary clutter can also bring good energy. I know whenever I want like something positive, I think it's cleaning out the kitchen or cleaning out the oven. And that brings like more abundance because the kitchen is where we create abundance, where we can nourish ourselves in whichever way we need nourishment, whether that's food or financial. There's also, and then cleaning your room is helping the psyche, helping the personal inner self as well. I'm seeing that. So there is success here. And it could also just be winning things. Like maybe you win a contest or you win a competition. If this is a sign that you're having a competition in October and you're going to want to win, this is a positive sign. So you will at least like be in the top 3 of something. All right, November for pile 2. We have the Page of Cups. It says eternal youth. That's cute. You could be getting a makeover in November, or you could decide to do like a facial or a spa day, something that like rejuvenates you. If not, this is you feeling new feelings, a new emotion or new feelings in a certain situation or for somebody. It feels very calming though. It feels a lot like this King of Cups energy, but smaller. Or not smaller, but like newer. Maybe not smaller, it's newer. But sometimes new things can feel small until we witness the growth of them. So beautiful energy for November. Lots of emotional peace, sincerity and innocence as well. I love it. I love it. If you know there is a baby being born in November, that could also be that energy. Maybe if some of you are becoming aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, that could be important. Maybe that happens in November. And it brings like that peaceful, that's the energy I'm feeling, like the love for a baby. It's just pure and unbridled and the most beautiful thing ever. I'm getting that kind of energy. So if it's not literally that, it could feel that way. And December, we have the Hermit. So by December, you're kind of done. December, you could decide to just turn inwards. You could decide to do things on your own. You could go hermit mode, or you could just like keep to yourself. It's funny because, like I said, if there is like a baby being born in November and you're the parent, you could decide to go hermit mode and just let it be you, your baby, and your family, and you don't want to deal with anything. You could cancel things like Christmas and be like, screw it, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to do my thing and I don't want to see anybody. I'm getting things like that. Or you could just decide to keep to yourself. I'm seeing you not wanting to bring in anything or release anything. It's just kind of like you're doing you because of how frantic this year has been, but I see peace with it. And back of the deck, we have the, oh, interesting. We have the Ace of Cups. Definitely an emotional year for you. It's like you start off with like a lot of logic and rationality and all this, but like slowly but surely, your heart, your emotions open up here for the better. And it's like as soon as you do, things start looking up. But that's what I have for the year 2026 for you, pile 2. Let's get your final cards. The Say When Oracle for important dates and times, as well as the Astro Dice. Let me throw those first. Throw the Astro Dice. Let's get loud. All right, we got Scorpio season. Yep, and intensity. We have the 5th house of fun. And Uranus. Somebody here could have Uranus in Scorpio. I want to say that's the generation before me. So if you were born in the 80s, you probably have that. And then the 5th house. So a lot of you could be having a lot of fun with family, because Scorpio is actually a very family-oriented sign. They love their family. They're very nostalgic. Think of like Capricorn. You wouldn't think they are until you get to know them. And then they're all about the people around them. There's also this feeling that some of you could decide to just do your own thing. It's like you start new traditions, you do your own thing. You decide to live on your own terms. Again, this is the sovereignty. Maybe this is even raising your kids how you want them to be raised and not how people expect them to expect you to raise them. Because I do feel like for some of you, there's children involved this year. Either you already have some, or you could, for those of you who want to, of course, have kids this year. Right, important dates. We have the number 8. What did I say? Oh, and it's making me think of the 8th house too. So yeah, strong Scorpio energy here. Infinite love, infinite energy, abundance, self-confidence, success, efficiency, and prosperity, which have all been themes that we've already talked about for this year. For my pile 2. We have divine timing. This is meant for you. It will happen when it is meant to. Trust the process. 17, self-discipline, compassion, spiritual awareness, frequent travel, soft yet strong. These could also be important dates in any month. The month of August, like I mentioned, is already important for a lot of you. The 17th and 8th of any month could be important. And interestingly, 1 + 7 = 8. Maybe for some of you, that's an important number. I don't know if I'm using I think I'm using the 8th house tarot for this reading. You could be called to that pile as well. We have winter, end of a cycle, and rebirth. And one more. A while more. Waiting is often arduous. However, you will have to hold on for a while more. Yeah, something about divine timing and a while more. Maybe you're not meant to know the exact date and timing of certain things, but they are going to happen for sure. But definitely August and the 17th of any month. The 8th of any month could be important. Maybe some of you were born August 17th. That's a Leo. Or the 17th of any month. Like some of my friends. I actually have a lot of friends who were born on the 17th of I think it's January and May. And September. Oh yeah, definitely September. I know a lot of Virgos born that time. And the last card for pile 2.
I am not my past. What did I say? The past keeps coming back here. The past keeps coming back. And I think for a lot of you, you're letting it go, or you're reinventing it, or you're just making peace with it for sure. Lovely energy. Absolutely adore it. You're striking your own energy here. You're doing your own thing. You're not letting the past haunt you. Or even if it is, you're like recalibrating, I'm hearing. Yeah, it's like you're stepping in a new path. You're building something new here. Again, I'm thinking of like legacies, because now I'm seeing from Thor Ragnarok when Hela comes back and she goes to her father's throne, and she's like, what is this? And she tears everything down. It's like, this is what actually happened. You know, I don't know what this is, but this is what actually happened. So it's like rewriting that or making peace with it. So you're making peace with your past, and it's all positive here. But this is where I leave it, pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the Mystic Dreams Tarot, then we have your reading here for you about 2026. What is your 2026 going to be like? We're going to start with the tarot, go month by month to get the overall themes of those months. And then we're going to get into the oracles. Or no, scratch that. I think we're doing it the other way. We're going to start with the oracles, and we're doing the months. I'm thinking of the personal readings. I tend to start the personal readings with the monthly. And then we get into the questions. And if you're interested in that, there is my email in the description below. And I think I have the post up in my, like on my channel, if you look for it. But essentially, I'm still doing personal tarot 2026 readings for up until the first week of January, just because I'm short on time this year. So if you're interested in that, you can hit me up. But let's get started with your oracles. So we have Spirit of Isis, Triumph of the Goddess. Ooh, love it. Love it. We have Chariot of Ascension, Spiritual Work of the Higher Initiate. I forget what this is called. I think it's like a Merkaba or something like that. But it's an interesting shape. Maybe some of you have that shape around you. It also makes me think of protection, because I remember I used to work with like sacred geometry to protect my spaces. I still do sometimes, or even in like energy work to make a shape around something. So some of you could be working with that, or maybe the universe is calling you to look into sacred shapes and things like that. We have Medusa, protection. Speaking of protection, I feel like, yeah, you could be protecting yourself this year, or you could have a sort of protective energy around you for whatever reason. Not because there's anything bad going to happen, but it's more like that extra layer of a boundary that you may need, specifically spiritually, because energy works in different ways than, you know, the physical 3D life. I feel like a lot of you are very protected this year, or you could be protecting something of your own. We have, this is Jera, another success card, which is interesting because this Triumph of the Goddess and the success is coming through here. So there is something about liberating, and in that liberation, there's success. We have Balanced Scales, number 29. I heard karma. Or even like everybody getting what they deserve. So there's going to be a lot of justice for you this year. And I think that comes with the protection, because with protection comes justice. I don't know why I'm being shown like an insurance policy of some kind. Like that's what I'm hearing. I'm not suggesting that you do or don't get one, but that's kind of like how it's coming through. Like you have insurance with the spirit universe, and you're kind of being protected under their coverage. That's kind of hilarious. Or maybe not hilarious, depending on how you view insurance and whether you worked in it or not. And then we have Ambush Fear with your ferocious dream. Yeah, you're free to pursue what you want. You're free to pursue anything you want. It's almost like there are possibilities, especially very successful ones, opening up to you. And in doing that, you're protected along that way. You're protected in this, it's almost like a success or a triumph, something that is meant for you, and you're protected along that way. And I was mentioning this too. It's funny, I keep bringing up personal readings. I'm not trying to push it, I promise. I'm not that kind of person. But a lot of my personal readings, I'll always get this energy specific to that person, that something was secured for them. Like either a life path or maybe a literal physical thing, or something was secured for them, that even if somebody else tried to get it, it wouldn't work out with them. It would only work out with the person I was reading. Sometimes I pick up on that energy. That's kind of like a soul contract that we have with a particular situation or a particular thing. So I'm getting that for you here, pile 3. And in this case, you're protected because something is meant for you.
Like you're meant to succeed in something. It is meant for you. You'll see this a lot in like certain celebrities are meant for success and they're protected in that. To some extent, I feel like you could argue that, but you know, I'm like their success is guaranteed. So I'm seeing that your path to success is protected. It's like you have a bodyguard, or you have like your guardian angels or your spirit guides, whoever is kind of just like keeping all the negativity and everybody else at bay. And I really like that imagery here for you. The rest of your cards, we have Seek, we have Intuition, and Explore. Yeah, it's like you're free to explore. You're free to go out, learn new things, go out, learn and try new things. I'm hearing the song by Yonzi. Go Do. Love that song. Absolutely love that song. It just means like go out and have fun, go out and do things, go out and explore. Make your own. How does the song go? I just keep hearing the musical instruments, which are really pretty, because I'm not used to. Jonzi's the singer, so I guess he does sing, but a lot of Seguros is very instrumental. But I'm getting a little bit of that, like you're exploring, and in trying to seek something, your intuition kind of amplifies. I see this a lot with people who are very into like nature, or love to explore, or love to travel. They have like a weird, their intuition works very differently. It's almost like an instinct, the way an animal would have intuition. It's like they feel it in their bones, they feel it in maybe in their biology, because I mean, humans are actually nomadic. We like to pretend that we can stay in one place, but the truth is our survival is not dependent on our surroundings. We can set up camp anywhere and survive, as long as there's water, food, and the ability to create shelter. So I'm getting a little bit of that. Ooh, some of you could be traveling this year, or you could have like really strong Sagittarius placements, or maybe something is transiting your 9th house, and it's like, it's very, it's awesome. I love it. I love this energy. There is this feeling that your intuition will amplify. I'm getting that with these 2 cards, like I said, or your intuition could come through in different ways. I'm thinking of people, you know, when it's about to rain and some people are like, oh, my elbow's hurting, that means it's going to rain. I'm getting that, but in a positive way. Or like, I'm not saying that something about you may hurt as soon as like something is going to happen, but it's more like you feel it in your bones. You feel it in your jellies. Shout out to Detective Pikachu. Overall, I love this energy because it's very positive and it's very like you're protected, but you don't feel in danger. It's like you have that protection, but not because you're scared, but because something is secure here. So very optimistic, very positive. You are meant to succeed in something, one thing or another. And even if you don't succeed, there will be justice that is going to happen here for you with this balance card. This could also be balancing aspects of your life, but I feel like that's not even the biggest case here. You are going to chase a dream here. There's something that you've been wanting to start, that you've been wanting to do. I see you going after that. And like the path to it, it's adventurous, it's fun. Is it short or long? Doesn't matter. You're having fun on the way. So I love that for you. The 29th of any month could be important. You also have the number 51. Maybe some of you are turning 51 this year. Or somebody you know could be turning 51. But yeah, that's what I have for the oracles. Let's go ahead and get your tarot. We're going to go again month by month. So let's start with January for pile. This is pile 3. Now I have that song by Jonesy stuck in my head. It's a beautiful song. I hear, you wish I know to see something grow older. You wish I know, surrender to summer. I haven't heard that song since I was in Iceland because I was doing my, I was posting stuff on my personal Instagram, and of course I needed like a good Icelandic song to be in the background, and I chose that one. We have the 10 of Pentacles. So January, it's a great time for money. Great time to know what to do with your money. So I feel like either you get a bonus or you may get like a pay raise. Something happens in January that is going to secure your finances. It's also a great time to decide what to do with the finances that you get. So if you decide to put it towards
maybe a savings account, or if you want to spend it on like a future thing, like setting it aside for a big purchase, or even like planning a trip, because I did mention travel. Maybe you decide to pay for that at the beginning of the year so you don't have to think about it until that trip comes, whenever that may come. But you are focusing on finances in January. I also see it very positively aspected. So I feel like you're going to be making good money, or you could be getting like some money back in January of some kind. Maybe it's like for some of you, it could be like a late bonus. Because usually, at least in the US, our bonuses are given like a few months before the Christmas season. February, we have the Three of Swords. Can I get clarification on the Three of Swords? Okay, good. So February, you're letting go of an old idea because it's too much. If some sort of mentality or some sort of idea or even whatever is breaking your heart or giving you distress or just not putting you in a good space, you're either going to approach it differently or let it go altogether. Because this Ace of Swords is kind of breaking up these three swords that are clashing. It's like, nope, we're not doing that. We are focusing on something new, something positive. If something is not adding to your life, it's subtracting. And here you're making it a point to disrupt the negativity. So I feel like you're catching yourself in your patterns, especially during Pisces season. I feel like there's going to be like a weird Aquarius Pisces combo in February that is going to be very beneficial, because I see the Ace of Swords as like that Aquarian disruption and the Three of Swords as like the melancholy that can come with any sort of disappointment. So I feel like something breaks your heart, but you unbreak your heart here. Like you patch up that heart. You're like, nope, we're not doing that. So even if there is like some sort of disappointment in February, it's not going to last long because you decide it's not going to last long. It's like you mourn it for a day, maybe a few hours, and then you're back on your feet. So whatever happens in February that disappoints you, it's not, that feeling isn't going to be lingering. It's not going to last long. So let's move on to March. We have the Ten of Cups. Yes, I love it. You're taking full accountability for how you feel and what you do this year, or at least in these first 3 months. Because whatever is going on around you, I feel like you're choosing joy, or you're feeling more joyful than usual. And I'm trying to figure out why. I feel like it's really your mindset. I feel like this year you're making it a point to make it a good year. Like, we're not talking about what are they called? New Year's resolutions. We're talking about a resolution in general for yourself. And I feel like if the new year brings a blank slate for you, then I guess it makes it easier. But you're choosing to focus on joy, happiness, and the things that matter. This feels, it's interesting. It feels very mature. It feels like a very mature energy for sure. And I love it because the maturity brings joy. I think some people think maturity brings like seriousness and like difficult feelings. But maturity is actually acknowledging that it doesn't serve anybody to dwell in negativity. And it makes more sense to resolve things for the better. And that's the kind of energy I'm getting here. So let's look at April. We have the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, somebody is being taken off their throne, or somebody who had a lot of power previously is no longer having that power. Especially somebody who's been in this power for a long time. There's several ways this could come through. Either if it's in the workplace, this would be a boss who has made so much money that they're kind of stepping down because they don't need to work anymore. Maybe that's a parent who's doing that. Maybe somebody you know close to you is retiring. Because this gives the energy of retiring. It gives the energy of like, I have so much money, it doesn't make sense for me to keep working. So somebody could be retiring. Maybe it's, for some of you, it could be you yourself. Or it could be somebody close to you, or somebody that you work for, and it's going to impact your life. Because if you get a new boss, then, you know, that might change things in the workplace. If your parents retire, then that means that they are doing new and different things, and maybe your life has to, I mean, it may or may not affect your life, but if you have, for example, kids and you take them to your parents, maybe they have more time for those kids. I'm getting that kind of energy. So somebody is stepping down in April, probably in time for the warmer seasons. Like, I feel like they just wanted to spend spring and summer doing their thing. But I'm seeing like a retirement energy. If not a retirement, this could be somebody deciding to take a pay cut to do whatever they want. Maybe this is you, maybe this is somebody else, but I am getting that. So let's move on to May. We have the World. There is some sort of chapter closing in May for sure. This could be your chapter. This could be a chapter with somebody else. I feel like there is like an ending, like a complete ending in May. And it feels happy. This definitely feels like that happily ever after. Because to me, the World is only an ending, or it's the ending that is happily ever after, where everybody gets what they want, or at least there's like proper compromise. I'm thinking of that balance card in the oracles from the beginning. So there is an ending in May for sure. I know a lot of people graduate, at least where I live, in the spring, late spring, early summer season. Like May is graduation month where I live. So maybe somebody here is graduating from something, or some sort of situation is closing out, or like even like the school year. If that applies to you, whether you work in education or you're still a student, that could definitely be the case here. And then for June, we have the Six of Swords. Definitely travel is in the books here. I'm trying to figure out if this is reversed or upright. I think this is upright. So there's travel for sure. I feel like June, you could be traveling, you could be going on a vacation, or you could just be going somewhere. It could also be movement, but regardless, you're not going to be in the place where you usually are in June. I'm getting that strongly. So July. We have the High Priestess, Sacred Wisdom. We have the High Priestess in July. Your intuition will be called into, it's just going to be called in. I was going to say called into question, but I don't think that's what that means. I feel like your intuition is going to amplify in July for sure, because we did see that in the oracles. I think July is when you're really going to see it be almost inescapable. This is like, for example, I'm this way. I'll have dreams about the future. I'll have dreams about people, about situations, about places. When I wake up, I see signs everywhere. That's just when it's going like, when it's at a 10 out of 10, when it's at like full power. My intuition is just hard to ignore. For those of you who are clairaudient, you'll be hearing things more. If you're clairsentient, you'll be feeling things more. Like whatever your specific form of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You're just going to be feeling it very deeply in July. So this is the sign to get like if you need precautious measures in order to be protected from like too much overstimulation of your intuition, that could be the case. I know people who have it way too strongly, that it's kind of overpowering. So that could happen, or it could even just be an awakening for those of you who don't really have it already. But I'm getting that very strongly. But yeah, sometimes life is like that. For me, it's dreams and just knowing things, like waking up and knowing things, or waking up and hearing a message. Sometimes that always weirds me out, because it'll sound like somebody's yelling it at me, and I'll literally be alone in the room and I'm like, there was nobody here. And sometimes it has a very distinct voice too, like the voice of somebody you know. So your intuition is like way up in July for sure, especially if you have Jupiter in Cancer, or Neptune in Cancer, or those two, Neptune and Jupiter, in like a water sign. So August, we have the Queen of Cups. August is going to be a very emotional month for you. And I think this is beautiful because you're tapping into how you feel and how that shapes the world around you. And people are being very kind to you as well in August, I'm seeing. Because I'm seeing people like wanting to appease you or wanting to be on your good side. I see very beautiful energy in August. It's almost like you're a literal queen, especially during Leo season and maybe Virgo. But you acknowledging and taking care of how you feel allows people to put you in Empress energy. So this is like a precursor to the Empress energy that is coming through. So a very emotional month, but I feel like people are going to be very kind to you and very loving. Like the love you put out will come back to you tenfold. So September, we have Death reversed. So there is like an ending, a delayed ending, or an ending that has taken some time to come through. It's also a transformation. It's almost like you knew this would happen. So come September, there's some sort of transformation, something that is either rebirthed or something that ends and begins anew. Regardless, going forward after September, things will not be the same. It's very intense energy, but you're handling it very gracefully because of what happened back here. Because like I said, there was like an ending of a chapter back in May, and that kind of begins something new here. And there's like a new a new shift in you. Like halfway through the year, you shift. And I've been kind of getting that very strongly for a lot of readings, both personal and in this particular public reading, where like halfway through the year, things just shift for a lot of people. Like things change. It's going to be a huge year for change, which makes sense. It's year of the horse, and horses embrace change, I think, rather naturally. All right, so October, we have the 8 of Swords. You may not know what to do in October. You may get a little bit overwhelmed or even like become immobilized by all the decisions you have to make and all the things you have to do. It's the only negative month so far that I'm seeing, actually. I feel like, well, maybe September as well, depending on what is ending and what the rebirth is. But come October, I feel like you're not knowing what to do, which is funny because a lot of the other piles, their October was great. But for you, I think because of how much you've been taking on energetically, emotionally, you're kind of like at a point where you just don't want to do anything, or you may just not know what to do anymore. So I see a little bit of helplessness in October, but all that really means is that you have to take a few breaths, slow down, and take it easy. I feel like it's the one month where you're kind of being forced to rest, because otherwise you might get mentally overloaded or overly stimulated here. Let's move on to November. We have Temperance. So November, we're focusing, especially once Sagittarius season kicks in, because Temperance is Sagittarius, we're focusing on balancing things out. It's like, what can you focus on? Because I feel like you may have focused too much on one thing that now you have to make up for it and focus on something else, because Temperance is balance. But reverse lets me know that things have gotten too out of balance. And I feel like that, again, that goes hand in hand with whatever's happening in October. You don't know what to do, so you focus on something, but it may not be the thing you needed to focus on. So you may want to gain more clarity before these months hit, just to avoid this, or to avoid it getting out of hand. Especially come Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius does like to overindulge in certain things. And Jupiter will tend to do that. It's like overdoing it in a particular area of your life. It's that and Taurus. I think those two signs, Sagittarius and Taurus, are prone to overdoing something. And Scorpio as well, actually, now that I think of it. And then for December, for pile 3, we have the 2 of Swords. This is you getting back on your feet. This is you finding the will to do things again. I feel like you have a rough few months, but then you get back at it. These 2 sticks make me think of like walking sticks, like the hiking sticks. So maybe some of you could be outside more, or it makes me think of what else? Not hockey sticks. I don't know if that's appropriate. If somebody here plays hockey or hockey is important, I guess that could come in handy. But I feel like by December, you're back on your own 2 feet and you're back in control. Like everything gets sorted out. But this will kind of continue into the next year. But come December, you're feeling way better. Back of the deck, we have the Fool reversed. Yeah, it's a year of new beginnings for sure, because it feels very adventurous. It feels very new, and it feels like nothing is stopping you. And I really love that energy for you. Let's get your final cards. We are using my Say When Oracle for important dates here. For pile 3. And if you would like to, I do have the Love 2026 readings as a separate reading, just because I know not everybody cares about romance, so I make that a little bit optional. I'll link that in the description below. We have 8. Infinite love, infinite energy, abundant self-confidence, success, efficiency, and prosperity. What did I say? And August is going to be a really great month for you as well here, pile 3. But there's an infinite of anything that you want. There's a lot of abundance here of whatever it is that you may be needing. Also, plenty of success as well. We have 27. Embrace new chapter. Listen to own intuition. Guidance, positive mindset. Rid of negativity. Yeah, whatever negativity pops up this year, I feel like you're really making it a point to not pay attention to it or to give it much gravity, to give it much weight. It's like you're not making it a point to focus on the negativity. Instead, you're focusing on the positive. The 27th of any month could be important, as could the 8th of any month. August 27th could also be important, and that specifically is early Virgo season. We have Wednesday. Creative, intellectual, start artistic projects, and mixed emotions. So Wednesdays could be important here. Wednesday makes me think of Mercury energy. So some of you could have a lot of great communication this year, or your communication could be amping up. Tuesday, adventurous, courageous, productive, start new projects. Tuesday is associated with Mars. So think Mars energy. Think of like a lot of activity for you this year for sure. So Tuesday and Wednesdays could be important. Wednesday is, whoa, who is it? Not Thor. Odin? Odin. So think of, who is Odin associated with? I'm just thinking of mercurial energy. So Mercury, like I said, communication and action. You put your money where your mouth is and you do what you say you're gonna do. Yeah, you do what you're gonna say. You do what you say you're gonna do. And what you do backs up what you say this year for sure. Let's get one more. We have 1, new beginnings, positivity, progress, energy, determination, success, love, and independence. What did I say? Success has come out in pretty much every section of this reading, so it's guaranteed for you. It's also going to be very positive. January is going to be a really great month, and I think that really sets the outlook for the rest of your year. The first of any month could be important as well, and even the last of any month, because we have 31. Practical yet creative energy, growth, expansion, talent, self-expression, and manifestation. The months that have 31 days could also be important here. Let's get your last card for pile 3. We have, I am capable of more than I realize. Yeah, I think you're going to be surprised with how much you get accomplished this year, because I had such an infinite amount of energy for this reading. Sometimes when I do certain readings, I'll get tired or the energy I tap into is a bit much. But this one, I was amped, I was pumped the entire time. So you're going to get a lot accomplished. You're going to have a lot of energy. Year of the Horse tends to do that. And I say this as Year of the Horse myself. And I love Year of the Horse people because they're the same. We vibe. We're just full of way too much energy. And you're going to get so much done. You're going to do so many things that I don't think you were capable, that you didn't know you were capable of. And some of you could even be leveling up, like literally gaining strength or stamina, wisdom. Like I just see a level up for you here, pile 3. But this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the Kitten Nugget Tarot, then we have a reading here for you for 2026. What is your 2026 tarot predictions? We're going to start on a month by month. No, we're going to start with the oracles, and we're going to start with a month by month basis. And we're going to see what 2026 has in store for you. For those of you curious about your love life, I do have a separate reading for 2026 love and romance, because I know not everybody is interested in that. But let's start with your oracles. For whatever reason, I guess you guys really want to get into the tarot in the month by month. But let's start with the oracles to get overall themes. We have Pyramid of Light. Step your vibration deeper into love. Ooh. Step your vibration deeper into love. Heart chakra opening definitely happening at least once, maybe multiple times this year for you. And that could mean several things. There's like an act of forgiveness here. There's also like the needing to understand people's intentions behind their actions or emotions, or there's something about understanding people here that is coming through, because I'm feeling like a very strong space in the heart. This also feels very Libran, like strong Libra energy. So some of you could be that sign, or you could be spending more time with a Libra. We have the Lucid, purification. She is a goddess of purification. And Sedna, death. Okay. I'm moving this to the side because I'm getting a specific message about you that I will tap into in a moment. We also have Wunjo, which is like joyful energy, feeling. And funny, I was just talking about the heart chakra. Here we have like this little, like a little star where the heart space would be. We have Chance dice. It's funny that I was talking about love in the beginning. Maybe some of you really do care about like your relationships or romance, so do check that out. And then the last cards, we have Desire, Earth, Love. My goodness. Okay, so there's definitely love on the brain for this pile, regardless of what's going on. Maybe you're understanding the difference between love, desire, and joy. It's like separating or integrating the differences between lust and love or desire. So this is really interesting. I feel like a lot of you are going to be learning a lot about that this year. We also have fall in love with your own story. My goodness. Because I literally heard whenever I pulled this card for chance, take a chance on love. So some of you could be taking a chance on somebody or taking a chance at like love in some way. Even if you may or may not know that you might get heartbroken, it's kind of like you would rather have lived this story than not live this story. Because I'm getting like a very rose-colored glasses feeling, but I feel like you're okay with that. Like this pile, I love your energy because it feels like, especially with these two goddesses are not like, they're not the lovey-dovey kinds of goddesses. Quite the opposite. Sedna is one that has been betrayed and mistreated by, I think it was her father who sent her to the ocean, just kind of left her for dead, and she became a goddess. And then Atlatzotelt, she is a goddess of she's a goddess of certain communicable diseases in, is it Mayan or Aztec mythology? I don't remember, but very similar regions. So that's why I tie her to that. And there's something here about you kind of having been through a lot in love and relationships. And if this isn't resonating with you, this could be like friendships or even family, because I did bring up like a very difficult father here with Sedna. But I feel like there's a big overarching theme for this pile of learning to trust people again, of learning to love and adore people. And like I did mention forgiveness, so you could be forgiving certain things. If that doesn't resonate, you don't have to take it. But regardless, it is going to be a theme that is coming through for you here, pile 4. And like I mentioned, not everybody likes to hear about love. So I think this, if you're not into that, you definitely have to choose a different pile, because it's quite obviously just here in the cards. With Earth, I am feeling this kind of appreciation for the body that we have, because when I think of Earth, I think of what we reincarnated as. We could have reincarnated as any other little animal, and we decided to be human. And as humans, we have our quirks. I'm hearing that song by Bjork, Human Behavior. If you ever get close to a human and human behavior, be ready to get confused. That's what I'm hearing. But I feel like you kind of love that. It's kind of like you're learning to love people in a weird way, which I know sounds odd, but it's kind of like you, from an observant perspective, it's like, people are really weird. Sometimes stupid, sometimes awful, but they can also be very lovable. It's really weird. I'm getting like almost like an alien perspective. Like if an alien was to come here and just see us as a race, like did they be like, what what are these humans doing? I'm getting that kind of energy from you, and maybe some of you are embracing that. Take that only if it resonates, because I don't know who this would resonate with. Let me know, pile 4, because I love this perspective from you. But I am getting this feeling that you're going to bring romanticism into your life in one way, shape, or form, whether there's people involved or whether it's just you and the journey you take in the relationships, the partnerships, the connections you make with people this year. Because I'm kind of getting a feeling that, I mean, some of you could be in a relationship, but I'm not even picking up on that. I'm picking up on a lot of you are in love, whether it's with yourself or with the people around you. This definitely is lover boy, lover girl energy. Like maybe some of you just love the idea of it. You like the idea of love more than the actual, getting married, settling down, having kids, etc. I'm getting that very strongly. I like this pile though. This is a very fun pile. Some of you could have Venus in, I'm thinking of Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, Venus in Pisces, Venus in Aries. Maybe Venus in Sagittarius as well. Because it feels like a detached, but at the same time all-consuming form of affection that you have for humankind and even the people around you. Overall, this is a very joyous year for you as well here, pile 4. So I absolutely love it. It's like you crack open that heart chakra and suddenly you feel all the ooey gooiness that people have always been talking about, and you could only imagine or not imagine, or, just kind of brush off to the side. And if you do want a relationship, this is definitely a great year for it. But I'm not getting relationships. I'm just getting love, which is interesting. So with that said, let's get into your month by month. For pile for pile 4. So we're going to start with January. We're going to get 1 card per month, roughly. I might clarify the month. And sometimes I put 1 pull per month. So let's do that. Sometimes 2 cards come up together. So for January, what's happening for my pile 4? We have the Star. Oh, love this energy. I already mentioned Aquarius energy, but this is like overall Aquarius energy. This is also feeling very hopeful, feeling very light, very full of joy as well. I feel like you could be in the spotlight. If not, I feel like you easily grab the spotlight. It's like you step into a room and people are like, oh, pile 4 is here. Oh my gosh, it's pile 4. Almost like you're famous or you're very well liked, very well appreciated as well. It's a beautiful month for you. So you're off to a great start at the beginning of the year for sure, especially for my Aquariuses, or look to where Aquarius is in your chart. I feel like that's where you're really going to shine. So for February, we have the World. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful energy, because in February, something ends and something new begins. I'm specifically hearing, for those of you who follow Chinese astrology, because this is going to become Year of the Horse, because the first month, usually part of it is still the previous year, which is Year of the Snake, and we're moving into Year of the Horse. So for some of you, you could be celebrating that. Maybe that's an important time. But there's also like an ending and a beginning. So you close out a chapter and you begin a new chapter. I'm not sure when Year of the Horse begins this year, but it's always either January or February. It's always one of those two. It's usually the Aquarius new moon when it coincides with Western astrology. I always thought that was kind of cool. But there is something closing out in February and something new is beginning. So you're ending a cycle or a chapter. A happily ever after is coming through in February and something new begins. Also, out of all the World cards that I have in my tarot decks, this is one of the few that actually has like 2 people that kind of mirror each other. Again, giving that energy of a possible relationship if that's what you're looking for. For March, we have the Hermit, and suddenly it's like you're on your own. I like it because I feel like you could be going on a journey by yourself, or you could be focusing on something internally. There's this feeling that you go inwards. When everybody else is going outwards, you go inwards. So if there's like a difficult time, you turn to yourself. Even if it's not a difficult time, it's kind of like, I get this sometimes. Sometimes there's people who, even though they don't really have any healing to do, they want to do more healing. It's like, you know what? I'm sure there's something I could dig up, because I'm kind of getting like an overachiever energy, or it's not obsessive. It's kind of like you want to be above perfect is what I'm getting, because Hermit is Virgo energy and Virgo is the ultimate perfectionist. So I'm getting like ultra perfection here, which makes a lot of sense, especially for Pisces season, because they're opposite signs. Yeah, so whatever you typically are good at, you might even hyper focus on that is what I'm feeling. So like if you like to work out, you might decide to work out even more or try new things to improve it. Perfectionist energy is coming through. Absolutely adore this energy, by the way. I like this pile. It's very different from the rest. All right, so for April, for my pile 4, we have the 10 of Wands, and you've taken on too much. You know what? I feel like you're going to regret some of the over-perfectionist tendencies that you had back in March, because suddenly you've overpiled a lot. So this could be a warning to not take on too much, or to not get ahead of yourself, because there's this feeling that at some point you're going to have to either get rid of some of that excess. It's not baggage. It's like you took on too much, so you have to get rid of some of it. So it's like, you know, when you eat too much and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm so full, that you kind of skip a few meals because you kind of have to get, you know, back in. You kind of have to get that stomach back down or something like that. I'm kind of getting that. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but I am seeing that. Like you're going to overexhaust yourself, overexert yourself. Something kind of crashes in April because you overestimated your abilities. So take that more as a warning. In May, what is happening for me for my pile 4? We have the 2 of Pentacles and imbalance. I want to see of what though. 3 of Swords. This is you preventing yourself from heartbreak by balancing things out. It's kind of like if you know you're headed in one direction and that's going to cause problems, you avoid it, or you make it a point to do so. So this is like, again, very disciplinary energy in this one. Let's say you know that if you don't get enough sleep the night before, you're going to wake up feeling cranky and angry because you didn't sleep well, or you're going to be extra tired or out of it. Like, you know how you get when you are a certain way. So you make it a point, or spirit is advising you to make it a point to not put yourself in that position that is going to essentially self-sabotage your success here or your optimal performance, which is really interesting. So that's what I'm getting for May. Really interesting. Yeah. Let's go on to June. We have the Five of Pentacles. Things are not as bad as they seem in June. I think you're going to kind of expect the worst in June, or you're preparing for the worst, but it's not going to be that bad. So I feel like you're over saving. You're overdoing it again. It's weird. I keep getting this energy of like, 1 minute you're overdoing it and then you crash out, and then you're overdoing it again, and then you may or may not crash out. So I feel like one thing you're learning to do this year, pile 4, is how to better judgment of what you can and can't accomplish, of what you are capable of doing, what you're not capable of doing. I feel like you're going to learn how to work with the energy you're given, because you have a lot of energy this year for sure, more so than the year before. And a lot of optimism. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful combination to have. The downside is that, again, you can overestimate how much you can take on. You can it's just taking on more than you can. And I feel like you're learning how to balance things out. This could be due to a shift in, like, for example, an environment. Maybe you've moved somewhere new and suddenly things are very different from what you're used to. Or maybe you've stepped into like a new era of your life, and you're, again, underestimating or overestimating what you can and can't do. I'm kind of getting that, because I'm kind of getting like either body betrayal or like, what's the word? Like, you thought you could do it, but you can't. I love the optimism. I really do. I just feel like you may need to scale it back, especially as the year progresses, which makes sense because I know a lot of Aquarius is like this. Again, let me know if you're not an Aquarius or have like your big 3 in that sign. But let's move on to July. We have the Three of Cups, party time. Okay, so July, you're going to be spending more time with friends. You're going to be taking on like it's a very social card. So I feel like either seek them out or they will seek you out, because I do feel like you're going to have a lot of fun times. Also a lot of parties. Maybe there's birthdays in July that you're celebrating, or you might go somewhere that has like a very natural party vibe. I'm thinking of like Caribbean islands. They're just always a fun time or something like that. So you could go there, or even like certain Latin American countries are like this, or so I've been told. Last time I landed in Mexico, literally that same day, there was like live music next door to my grandmother's house, so it felt like a party. I'm getting something similar to that. So wherever you go, there's going to be like abundant, happy, joyful party energy. All right, let's move on to August. August for my pile 4s. We have the Four of Pentacles. So you're having a hard time accepting something is what I'm hearing. Not letting go. I feel like you can let go quite well, but you're having a hard time accepting a reality or something that is a little heavy, because August is kind of like you're being grounded back to reality, or you're kind of having to ascertain something that is very much in front of your face. And I feel like you have a hard time accepting a reality or accepting some sort of situation. I'm not even saying that it's a negative situation. It's more like you have a hard time wrapping your head around something that maybe you're not used to, or that doesn't make sense to you. This could be in the workplace. This could be in your life. Like maybe, for example, this is kind of like the example I'm being shown. This is just an example. I'm not saying this is what's happening. Like when you tell a little kid, like let's say you're a single parent and you have to tell a little kid, hey, I'm going to marry this person now, and they're going to be your new mom or dad, you know. It's that kind of energy. And the little kid is like, huh, what? But I already have a mom or dad. Who is this person? And it's not that they hate the person. It's just kind of like, it's that mentality where you don't know how to take something, but it's a reality now. And that's what happens. So I'm kind of getting that, because whatever this is, I don't think you have much control over it. It's just kind of the new thing. That's why I feel like for a lot of you, it's a work situation where they change the rules quite literally overnight, and suddenly you have to get used to something and you're like, what? It's like, what? Wait, what's happening? What is this? Or like your friend gets married over the weekend and told nobody, and you're like, wait, what? This is your new boo? This is your new boo? And I gotta be
okay with that and I barely know them, it's kind of like that. So some sort of a reality is setting in August for a lot of you. And I don't usually take this card that way, which is really interesting. So for September, for my pile 4, we have the 4 of Wands reversed. You're trying to make the best of a situation. This is kind of like optimism, like defiant optimism. It's like you're trying to make the best out of everything. You're trying to make things work. Even though you kind of don't get why things happen the way they happen, you're trying to make them work. That's what I'm seeing. And sometimes this can be a celebration or a wedding as well. Like I said, maybe for some of you, there is like a random ass wedding coming out of nowhere. And you're like, huh? Who's getting married? What? Maybe it's a sibling. Maybe like you find out your sibling is getting married and you're like, I haven't even met the guy or girl or whatever. You know, I'm kind of getting that kind of energy. And you're trying to celebrate, but you're like, this feels kind of weird. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm kind of getting that energy. Or again, if we're going with the work situation, it's like, oh, I guess this is the new policy now. Let's make the best of it. But then you get people, like if you have clients, you get clients who are confused. You get things that are going haywire. And you're just kind of like sitting and smiling through it all like, yeah, it is what it is. It's that meme with the dog sitting in the burning kitchen. It's like, I'm fine, you know, which you may or may not be, but you're trying to make the best of it. That's for sure. All right, October. I love this energy. Pile 4, leave me a comment so I can give you some love because I really do like this energy. It's fun. We have the Knight of Wands. Yes, you're back. Okay, in October, you are back. It's like you're back to reality or you're back to having some sort of control over yourself. You're definitely out there. You're inspired. You're initiating things. You're making things happen. You have the motivation to get back on track if you lost track. And even if you didn't, it's like you have the motivation to try new things. And I feel like this is you in general. Like whatever your energy is, I feel like you would definitely be a Knight of Wands type of person. Rather naturally, you get things started, you do things, you ride this tiger, this pink tiger, you ride it. Okay, so I'm loving this energy. You can make things happen. I feel like you're initiating something or you're going after what you want. It's like nothing is stopping you. And even if it is, it's like, whatever, I'll fight that when I get there. Very positive energy. Let's get November. We have the 5 of Wands. So November, there could be some clashing of ideas, possibly egos. I'm not seeing this as like terrible because I know some people think that like the 5 of Wands is violence and it's not. It's just like chaos or a lot going on or everybody's speaking all at once and it's like, hey, can we take a turn talking? If we're all talking at the same time, we can't hear each other. So I'm getting that kind of energy. So in November, I feel like everybody wants to do their thing and everybody feels like they have an advantage over the other one or something like that. Like somebody here feels like they can do more than the other and you're either part of this or you're trying not to be a part of it because you don't want there to be like, it's just chaos. I keep getting chaos. It could be an argument and maybe for some of you, you see conflict and argument as just pure chaos as to where some people see it as like, oh no, this is awful. I think from your perspective, pile 4, just because of how I'm picking up on your energy, you see it as chaotic. It's like, no, they're not fighting. They don't hate each other. This is just how they talk. It's like, no, they're going to be fine. This is just how we talk. You know how some families, they're loud and rambunctious and people think, oh no, they're having a heated argument. And no, that's just how they talk. That's kind of what I'm getting. So you might have to pick sides. You might have to make a list. I don't know. I feel like you have to work something out between you and several people. I feel like this could be your family. Because it feels like family or friends, especially if you have friends that, you know, they love to cause drama, not because they hate each other, but because if they didn't, they'd be bored. That's what I'm picking up on. So that's what I'm getting for November. So good luck with that. And then we have December. Oh, this is going to be a fun year for you for sure. We have the Wanderer, as in WONDERER. I'm going to get a clarifier for that because this is actually a special card for this deck. They kind of created, I think it's 5 extra cards. But the Wanderer is kind of like you're wondering about things, or maybe you don't want to wonder about things because there's options, there's things that need to be decided upon. There's things that need to be done, but I feel like you kind of want to put them on the back burner until you're ready to fully think about them. The clarifier is the Devil, because you don't want to make a decision based off of either negative energy, a negative trait that you know you have. Like if you know you have a weakness, you don't want to make a decision based off that weakness. It's kind of like you don't want to make decisions. You don't want to make plans when you're, for example, drunk, because you know those are not going to go through. Or if they do, it's going to be a different thing. It's like, I said yes when I was not, completely conscious. And now here I am reaping the consequences of those agreements or actions. So in December, make sure that when you're making a decision or when you're thinking about something, that you are in a good place, because for whatever reason, I feel like a certain bad habit or a certain environment will make you pick and choose very different things than you typically would. This is like being influenced. Literally think of like the angel and devil on your shoulder. The devil is being louder, so you're picking that instead of picking something that would make sense to you at the time. So take your time making decisions or thinking about things in December, because you may not be in the right mind space. You could be overindulging. Again, I think the happy party us can sometimes be very different from our everyday us. I know I am. I'm more, not that she comes out a lot, but she's definitely more outspoken, more feisty, very different. And I would rather make a decision like being calm, cool, collected than making a decision mid-party or something like that. So that's what I'm getting for pile 4. Very interesting, very fun reading. Back of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Yes. You ready to make plans? You ready to take it on? We have the Fool. It's like, yeah, bring it. And it wouldn't surprise me if you took on a lot of this reading like, yep, that sounds like me. It's like, yeah, I would do that. I feel like it takes a lot to kind of it takes a lot for you to take things personally, or it takes a lot to make you angry. And I kind of like that. You're cool, pile 4. I love your energy. Love it. All right, last cards, important dates that could be of significance for pile 4. Also, this is the only pile so far that I've recorded at night. I don't know if you're more of a nighttime person. That would make sense. So pile 4. Key dates or times or seasons, months in 2026. We have 21. New opportunities, new beginnings, rid old beliefs, assertiveness, independence, and positive attitude. And that in general is the energy that I've been getting from you, or what you will step into this year. Some of you could be turning 21, or the 21st of any month could be important. We have October. What did I say? October is going to be a great month for you. I think October 21st is Libra, maybe? Libra, Scorpio cusp for sure. Connoisseur, artistic, intellect, balance, harmony, and grace. Yes, love it. We have 1. New beginnings, positivity, progress, energy, determination, success, love, and independence. Interesting that we have 1 and 21 here. So 1 could be a life path for some of you. I'm also thinking of the 21st of January could be important, which that's when we step into Aquarius. I think Aquarius starts sooner though. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have 13, renewed passion, motivation, tradition, organization, judgment, hard worker, love, relationships. Yeah. A lot of you are going to be in a relationship this year, or you may already have like a boo and you're like already set, because they didn't really show up here. But like I said, go to the Love 2026 in case you're interested about that. And 27. It's funny because I thought this was 27 initially, and here she is. Embrace new chapter. Listen to own intuition, guidance, positive mindset, rid of negativity. You're definitely not dealing with any negativity this year. Or if you are, it's not going to be long lasting because of how you approach things. Because even the negative things, I see you try to turn into something positive. And that takes some skill. That takes a lot of skill. And I don't know, I respect and admire that a lot. So yeah, these could be key important dates or months. October, which is funny because October 10 reduces to 1 as well. January, the 1st, 21st, 27th, 13th of any month could be important. October 1st, 21st, 13, and 27 could be important. Let's get your final card. It's a little froggy card of encouragement. So pile 4.
Again, thank you so much for clicking on this reading. I needed whatever this energy was because I just finished a long shift and this is so fun, so juicy and fun. Okay. Just as the world is always changing and evolving, so am I. Yes, and I feel like you embrace change and evolution and all the things that are new in your life with a positive attitude and with a lot of bravery. I think that's the word for it, bravery. But this is where I leave it, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the 8th house tarot, then we have your reading here for you for the year 2026. We're going to see what 2026 has in store for you. We're going to go on a month-by-month basis in the tarot, but we're going to start with the oracles to get the overall themes for your year, pile 5. So we have Goddess of 10,000 Names, Isis, Endless Emanation of the Priestess. So I do feel like you're going to be many things to many people this year, or you could be taking on several roles, especially ones that you've never taken on before, or ones that you haven't really stepped into in a long time. So it's not going to be a year where you're basically just being yourself. You're also being different versions of yourself that I feel like you haven't been able to tap into either ever or in a long time. We have Vitaka, indulgence. You're definitely indulging quite a bit in certain things this year. You have Scotty, Wild Heart. So this card always makes me think of like the great outdoors or like an adventurous kind of energy. You could be traveling, you could be doing new things. And it's funny because these two almost feel like they would be rather opposite, with indulgent energy being more like cozy, comfortable at home, having all the luxuries you could need. But then we have the opposite as well with Wild Heart, kind of only needing the necessities, but focusing more on the action, on the fun. But I feel like you can have both because I'm definitely a person who does both. It's giving like Taurus versus Sagittarius energy. So maybe some of you could have that in a combination in your chart somewhere. We have Sowilo. Sowilo here means success. I think it literally means sun or sunlight. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of bold energy, a lot of very confident energy this year as well. It's like you're not afraid of being all aspects of yourself, even the ones that contradict each other. We have feminine, number 19. So definitely stepping into your feminine energy, because I'm getting like a strong Venus in a fire sign, which means that you express your forms of love and like you express your love boldly. Even your taste in fashion or the way you may go about appearing to the world is very bold or very, it's hard to ignore. Let's put it that way. It's hard to ignore and definitely very vivacious as well. We have Creator, Fire. So definitely a lot of fiery energy. I already mentioned that. I mentioned Venus in a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. You could start new things this year. You're also, I feel like there's a lot of newness for you here because I'm tapping into your energy and it doesn't seem concerned with the past, if at all. We also have the unknown. Yeah, you're trying or stepping into new things, the unknown, things you haven't tried before, and maybe even some things that you have tried before, but in a different light or in a different way. So definitely a lot of new energy, a lot of, I'm getting some spontaneity. Some of you could end up befriending people very different from you or opposite from you, because I'm seeing you try certain things out, but in different modalities. Again, if we're thinking about feminine energy, like you could try to make your feminine energy a little different. Like sometimes feminine energy can come through as like seductive and mysterious, but it can also be lighthearted and pure, or it could be like in your face and bold. So that's an example. Definitely tapping into feminine energy regardless of your gender here. It's an energy, not anything to do with whatever you may have been born in. This is the more passive side. The more... This is a side of you that allows things to come to you as opposed to going after them. I feel like the world is opening up for you. You're getting your needs met. You don't really have to try to do too much. Things are just attracted to you as opposed to you being attracted to them. So you're definitely stepping into feminine energy this year, for better or worse, regardless of your gender, like I mentioned, regardless of what you typically operate as, because I do read a lot of women who have very strong masculine energy sometimes. So, I do feel like there's going to be almost like a need for newness as well, because I'm seeing you want to create something, stepping into something new, seeking out something new as well. You could be leaving certain things behind, or this could just be the way you typically are. But 2026 is definitely a year of adventure, of freedom as well, and also of going after everything you want. I feel like you're not going to deny yourself whatever it is that you may want here. Again, very bold energy, very the energy of like an empress. I'm almost getting empress or like a queen. And I know I'm saying a lot of feminine adjectives, but let this fit your even if you're a man, I feel like you're kind of stepping into this energy of like the world is your oyster and everything appears for you. It just kind of makes itself open for you. So I really do love this energy. And I even love the different modalities in which this is showing itself. And I feel like you could even decide to do all of the above, but you're definitely doing new things in new ways in 2026, pile 5. So with that said, let's move on to the tarot for my pile 5. And if you're curious about your love and relationship horoscopes, tarot predictions, I do have that linked in the description. That should already have been posted. I think it went out literally the day that I'm recording this. So that's already out for those of you curious about your love life. I keep them separate because not everybody cares about romance, but sometimes romance does come in these readings as well. So pile 5 for January of 2026, we have the 10 of Swords. So you're coming out of something difficult, or you have dealt with something that has been a bit much, more like it's been draining mentally, or confusing, or even dizzying. Sometimes when something gets overwhelming for me mentally, I get a little dizzy. That's kind of the energy I'm feeling, and I feel like you're coming out of it. So January is definitely a time for recovery and a time to focus back on yourself. Also a time to ground yourself, because you either dealt with a lot the previous year or you're recovering from something, because it can only get better. So if you ended the year on a bad note, I feel like it's only up from here. It's only getting better. Things are reconstructing themselves for you, or you're reconstructing from a lot of toxicity that you may have come out of, or a lot of it's just an energy that was not for you, that's for sure. I feel like this energy was not for you. And January, you're getting your footing back. You're stepping into new things. You're realigning yourself with your true purpose and your true intent. So for pile 5 in February, we have the Hanged Man. You're definitely going to change your mind about something in February. The funny thing is that the Hanged Man is supposed to be Pisces. It's ruled by Neptune, which rules Pisces. So you're definitely seeing things in a different perspective. You're seeing things clearly, differently. I feel like a previous situation you were in was kind of clouding your judgment, or clouding your... it wasn't allowing you to see things clearly. And in February, you're definitely getting the clarity that you may need, or even the perspective that you need if it's not clarity. I feel like you were not seeing things as they were. Sometimes this can come through as rose-colored glasses, but I'm seeing you change your mind about something come February. Especially with all that detached energy that Aquarius may provide at the beginning of the month, or mid-month, I'm hearing. So for March, for my pile 5, we have Pisces, the moon. I feel like something will be revealed in March. It's like there's a secret or something that is like subconscious. Sometimes the way I interpret this card, so I'm clairsentient. I will feel things before, like I feel energy. And energy can feel in different ways. Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's... any way you can feel, that's how it will feel. And that's kind of what I'm picking up on. Like you're working with very subconscious energy in March, and you may not know what to believe, but I do see things clarifying themselves, because I'm getting that one big theme of this year for you, pile 5, is going to be clarity. It's like you want truth, you want things to come out into the open, and I feel like you will seek it. But at the same time, you're kind of dealing with murky energy that could be eluding you, or could be like hiding itself from you. This could be a person, this could be a situation. But I'm seeing a little bit of that. It's like you being able to see through things, because you're noticing that not everything is being either honest or clear. So you're seeing through it. This is also trusting your intuition above everything. The moon asks you to trust your intuition, and even to trust your emotions when nothing else does, or when nothing else makes sense. So let's get into April. For pile 5, we have the 7 of Pentacles reversed, Saturn and Taurus. So
there's something you might be, if not wasting your time on, I feel like you're not going about the right way on building something in April. So this is kind of like a warning to not focus too much on okay, scratch that. It's kind of like beware not to beware not to put too much effort and work into something that may not be worth your time. It's kind of like convenience versus doing something on your own. Like you could make, like for example, this is just an example, like sometimes we make our food at home because we already have the food there and it costs us less. However, if it's a matter of convenience, if it would be more convenient to just spend the money on a lunch to take out, sometimes it makes sense to do so. I'm kind of getting that energy. It may be worth it to just do something like take the shortcut as opposed to put in a lot of work in April, because either you're short on time or it ends up costing about the same. So whatever's happening in April, it's better to take the shortcut as opposed to putting way too much effort into it. So don't be afraid to take it easy in April, because you may want to, it could be your pride making you want to do the work, but honestly, rather than get your hands dirty, like these are here, just keep them clean and pay somebody else to do it. That's an example, but that's what I'm getting. So for May, for my pile 5, we have the Queen of Swords. So definitely you're seeing through a lot. I love the Queen of Swords because she can cut through the BS. She can cut through any sort of, I heard insecurities, but she can cut through all sorts of deception, all sorts of, when people are trying to make her out to be a fool, she's quick to call them out or she's quick to prove them wrong. I love the Queen of Swords, love her so much. She doesn't care about emotion. She doesn't care about like sentimentality. She is there to provide facts, to prove you right or wrong. This is being very impartial, but at the same time, I feel like there's something here about you needing to provide proof, because I'm also seeing you like have all the receipts or have all the documents necessary in order to do something here, especially if people weren't expecting this of you. I think the Queen of Swords can be underestimated a little bit because she's not the most feminine of the queens. She's definitely more in her mind, but she's also very clever. So I feel like people will misunderestimate you in May, and you're going to have to prove them wrong, or you're going to show them just what you're made of. Because I see people be surprised. The Queen of Swords is definitely that one person who like surprises people with how intelligent she is when she opens her mouth or when she shows her work, you know, when she shows all her credentials. And I really love that. It's like that person that you didn't know had like 1 million degrees and you just think they're like an everyday person, which I love that. I love the unassuming air of the Queen of Swords here. And I feel like you're going to embody that in May, especially during Gemini season, because Gemini can come off as a little ditzy and silly, but they're very smart. So let's move on to June. We have the Star reversed. So there's something about not having hope or not placing your bets on something in June. It's like, even if you have something planned, even if you already expect something to happen, you're keeping your expectations low, or you're making sure not to put too much effort. Again, low effort energy here for sure this year. You're making it a point not to worry too much or to have too much hope on anything. This is like preventing high hopes or having low expectations of something. And I feel like that comes through because you've kind of expect people to not deliver. I'm not sure if there was like a situation or people or a person involved in that kind of a mentality that you've developed, but it definitely feels like you're not setting your expectations high about anyone or anything in June. And I think that's it's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, I feel like it is better to progress that way. So you have hope, but not too much hope for something in June. For July, for my pile 5, we have the 7 of Cups reversed, Venus and Scorpio. So I'm seeing you ran out of options or you don't have many options for something here. This could be a good or a bad thing. Sometimes people like that because it allows them to narrow their choices, and therefore the decision process is a lot easier. On the other hand, if you like to have more options, if you like to have more choices, this could be a little bit annoying. However, this could be the universe trying to give you a little hint that there were certain options that just were not meant for you. So what few options you have left are probably better for you than the ones that weren't left there. So if something decides to fall out of your life or something just doesn't work out, that's not a problem. It's a good thing because it's meant to keep you focused. Because the Seven of Cups reverse can also mean needing to focus on certain things or needing to focus on the basics as opposed to focusing on like every little thing. Because like I said, indulgence is kind of a theme this year. Narrowing down that indulgence or like cutting off some of that indulgence could be necessary in July for you here, pile 5. So on to August. We have the Ace of Swords. There's a new idea or some sort of new situation that pops up in August that is going to give you a breath of fresh air. I feel like you're really going to enjoy this because it's new and it's exciting, or at the very least, it's different. Because as soon as I tap into this energy, I get really excited. So whatever's happening in August, you're looking forward to it. I feel like you're going to be very excited about it. And because of that, you're able to really dive into it with like a very positive mindset. And I want to see for a lot of you, it's going to be successful. I'm not sure how long it's going to last. It could last just that month or the rest of the year, but it's definitely going to be successful. So for September, we have the Six of Swords reversed. You may have to return to something. This is also giving a Mercury retrograde. I'm not sure if there is a Mercury retrograde in September. That could be important, so just double check your everything. But there is something about either a slowing down or returning to something. You could be going back home. You could be going back to like a hometown. You could be visiting your hometown. If it's not going there to stay permanently, it could just be like a visit or even an extended visit. But in September, you're focusing on something from the past, or something from the past could come to you. Maybe somebody is visiting you that you haven't seen in a long time. Because I'm getting nostalgia here. And I mentioned this in another pile or reading. The sixes do require, they're balanced, but they're also nostalgia and they're also love. Because the number 6, especially in numerology, can be linked with partnerships and love here. So I like this energy because it feels like taking a what's it called? A drive down memory lane. That's what it feels like. So for October, for pile 5, we have the 9 of Pentacles. Lovely. Okay, so October is going to be a really great abundant month for you. It's your time to make money. You could end up making more money than usual, especially if you work on either like commission or if you have your own business. If you have the capability to like build your wealth, you're going to do so very very strongly in October, or that could be a month that you just come into abundance in some way, shape, or form. This is also independence, but honestly, I'm just seeing you being able to create something for yourself, and you take the credit for it and you earn all of it and you get to keep all of it. So lovely energy for sure. Let's move on to November. We have the moon, no, the high priestess reverse. So November, can I get clarification on the high priestess reverse? Yeah. Okay, so I was talking about this with somebody the other day. I mean, I talk about this a lot, but like I'm intuitive. So I do tarot. I'm very intuitive. I've always been intuitive, and I can usually see through people. And I was talking about this person to this friend, and I was like, I'm pretty good at seeing through people, but I have my blind spots, and I feel like everybody has their blind spots when it comes to their gut, their intuition, their gut feeling, their instinct. Like everybody has blind spots here and there. Sometimes it's our own families, sometimes it's our own friends. It's sometimes the people we're closest to, and that's what I'm seeing here. When it comes to your gut instinct about somebody close to you, because the 3 of Cups can be like a friend or somebody that is near and dear to you. I feel like you're not reading the situation well. I feel like you are colored a lot by the love and affection you have for them. Sometimes we, another way, again, somebody asked me what one of my weaknesses was, and it's like my weakness is also part of my strength. I see the best in everybody, and it's a weakness because it allows people to take advantage of me when they know I see the good in them. And that's what's coming through for November. And it's kind of heartbreaking putting it that way, but it's true. I think sometimes us wanting to see the best version of someone is preventing us from wanting to see the true version of them, which is what we have in front of us right now. This is like falling in love with the potential versus falling in love with what's right in front of you, with the person that is currently right there in front of you. So I'm getting a little bit of that in November. This could be a friend or family. I'm getting that very strongly. It could also be a lover for some of you if that person is involved. But do be careful that people do not take advantage of the fact that they know you believe in the best version of them. Because I'm seeing a little bit of that. Or if they're not taking advantage, it could just be you wanting to see the best version and not holding your person accountable for the person they actually are. Because I believe at least one aspect of love that people seem to overlook a lot. When you love somebody, you don't let them get away with being a crappy person. When you love somebody, you show them how to be a good person. And I see this a lot with parents. A parent who loves their child teaches their child how to be a better and good person, as opposed to just letting them be, a horrible little brat that runs around doing whatever they want. And I'm getting that very strongly in November. And yeah, that one hit deep. That one, oof. Pile 5. Let's get your last card for December. We have the King of Pentacles. Stability, ultimate stability. I love it. This could be you. This could be somebody else. You are starting something in December that's going to be long lasting. You're definitely going to see more of it in the year forward in 2027. But I do see there's some sort of stability that either you build by yourself or that is inspired very greatly by somebody else around you. Because this is masculine energy. And for you, I was getting strong feminine energy. So like I said, this could be like a boss, maybe a parent, maybe a friend who helps you build something. It could be a partner for some of you if that is applicable. But I do feel like this energy, very strong earth energy. It could be Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, but they don't have to be. But it feels that way, like it's slow and steady and it's progressive and it moves forward. So I absolutely love it. I'm also seeing a lot of success and a lot of I heard slow progression. Maybe this person or this situation or this energy that you step into took some time to get there. It could have been something you've been developing for the majority of the year. There was a reading in the 2026 Love Tarot that one of the piles had a similar energy to this, and I don't remember which one, but you might get that same one if you decide to go to that reading, should you choose to. Pile 5. Back of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. There is this kind of a warning to be, especially those of you who are already prone to anxiety or may suffer from it, to be careful of what causes those anxieties and to make sure you're monitoring it. Of course, this is not professional advice. This is just advice that I see through the cards. But if you know who you are, you know who you are. So with that said, let's move on to your final cards. We're going to get some key dates from the Ceylon Oracle. And then we're going to get your final card for pile 5. We have 6. What did I say about the number 6? It's love, family, empathy, responsibility, nurturing, protection, peace, selflessness, and new responsibilities. So a lot of you are nurturing yourself and others, because I was getting a very independent energy in the beginning, but that doesn't mean that you don't care about anybody else. You still have your people, but your energy overall is independent, and that independence allows you to take care of yourself so you can take care of others, because sometimes we nurture through inspiring people. Also have May, luxury, enjoys getting pampered, ambitious, focused, and resilient. Love it. May is one of my favorite months because it's my birth month, but also I think of the springtime. I think of that fun moment between spring and summer where like everything is new and exciting. So I'm getting that. May 6th could be of importance. Also May and June, because June is the 6th month. We have 7, not 6, 7, not 6, 7. Spirituality, a good sign, happiness, joy, incredible luck, and material fortune. Okay, look, I know that meme or that thing that kids say gets on a lot of people's nerves. Me personally, 6, 7 represents like something cute and fun that kids are doing. And it represents the inner child, because whenever I hear it, I just laugh because I think it's cute that they have their own things. We had our own things when we were kids, and now they have their own things. And it just shows you that, you know, that beautiful, happy, childlike spirit lives on forever. Doesn't matter what's going on. Doesn't matter how many years it's been or what you think is like the biggest worry of the world. Kids will be kids. And I think there's hopefulness in that. I think there's something fun, joyful, and promising in that, you know, let kids be kids. I don't know why I had to say that. I just think it's adorable. But yeah, May 6th or 7th could be important. May, June, July could be important. Somebody here could be a life path 6 or 7. We have winter, end of a cycle, and rebirth. Yes, there's an end to a cycle here.
I know it's at the Southern Hemisphere. I think May is like fall and it's the last month of fall and it goes into winter. So that could be important. And then we have 31, practical yet creative energy, growth, expansion, talent, self-expression, and manifestation. So months ending with 31 days could be important, or the 31st of any month could be important as well. But yeah, loving this energy. Thursdays could be important days as well. Healing energy, optimism, good luck, manifest, wealth, and success. Fire energy as well for Thursday, because Thursday resonates with it resonates with Jupiter, so good luck. Also the god Thor and the god Jupiter / Zeus. So think thundering energy. Think like flashy energy. Lots of luck as well. Let's get your last card. Some of you might have kids in this pile. Like you already have kids, or you may end up having kids. Not everybody, of course, but I'm kind of getting a strong maternal or parental energy here. Oh, I will be gentle with myself. Yes, be gentle with yourself, pile 5. This is such beautiful energy. I am sending you all the happy things, all the happy vibes for 2026, but this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 6. If you chose the Empyrean Tarot, the mini tarot, then we have your reading here for you for 2026. We're going to see what themes of 2026 are going to come through for you this year. We're going to start with the oracles for the themes, and then we're going to get into the tarot for the month by month to see what may happen this year. So let's go ahead and start with your oracles. They've been pre-shuffled, pre-selected. So we have Divine Destiny, Path of the Divine Warrior. Path of the Divine Warrior. I'm specifically hearing that if you've ever destiny swapped with somebody, or if like you felt that things were not going the way you thought they were going to go when you could have sworn you saw them go a certain way, that could be reversed this year, or you could be protecting yourself from that this year. I say this because, and I've seen this because I'll read people's energy, and energy can change. When it comes to looking into the future, energy can change. And sometimes when it changes so drastically, it's because there's been some sort of destiny swap, or somebody like taking something from you that was meant for you. So I'm seeing you either guard from that, or I see you reversing that if possible, because it's not always possible to do so. But I am seeing something along those lines. Regardless, you are doing something that has been destined for you here, pile 6. We have Wunjo, Joy. I love this card because it makes me think of the joy you feel so deeply, so profoundly, that it impacts your entire body or ethereal body. So this is a joy you can literally feel. This is like when you're so happy you feel like dancing, when you're so happy that you can't help but light up a room, as people do. We have Spiral Growth, 11. It's definitely going to be a year of growth. When I think of spiral, I think of spiraling or crashing out. And maybe that might happen, but it might be for your growth. It might be somehow impacting or directly related to your growth. We also have Oshun or Oshun. I've heard somebody pronounce this differently. I don't know if I've been mispronouncing her name this whole time. But we have self-love here. So they're definitely working on the self-love. We're working on loving ourselves more, because when we love ourselves more, we find it easier to love everything around us. We have choose who you are becoming. Interesting. Because like I mentioned, there was something here about destiny swap, or even just choosing your own destiny. It's like, if you knew something was meant for you and for whatever reason it fell off your path, you might be like, how do I get back on that path? Or how do I put that thing back on my path? So maybe 2025 was a kind of a year of misdirection for you, or things kind of didn't go the way you planned. So this year you're like, nope, I'm getting back on track. We are coming back to this thing that I've been wanting. We are doing the things that I've set goals for. I feel like you're getting back on track this year for sure. We have Guide. Interesting that both of these cards have like this, what do you call these? The direction signs. So like I said, getting back on track, you might actually have a guide that helps you, whether it's somebody in the 3D or 5D. We have Illuminate. Again, I'm thinking of lighting up a certain path. Play. And Simplify. Okay, I like this because sometimes the way to get things done is the simplest ways. Or you could be simplifying something. Because I feel like some of the things I may have said sound like a lot of work. They're not. Like, I feel like when you actually do something that is meant for you, it feels light. It feels simple. It doesn't get convoluted or complicated or crazy. When something is meant for you and you're in vibration with it, it just happens very naturally. I'm thinking of something that happened yesterday. I can't reveal too much because I don't want to anymore, just because the previous year I feel like I revealed too much of myself, and that kind of, it sent me off course to what I was supposed to do. But then I did something yesterday and it was so easy. I was literally just driving by something and I heard, well, I ask the universe sometimes, and I heard it say, yeah, go ahead and do it. So I did the thing. And it was so simple. Like, I was surprised with how easy and available and just like whatever this was, it was so simple. And it felt even kind of fun to do this thing. So I did that and I was like, wow, okay, so that's definitely a sign that this is on my path, that this is secured for me, possibly, should I choose it. Because nothing is ever set in stone. I didn't set anything in stone yesterday, but the fact that that little detour was kind of a simple thing let me know that I was on the right path. And you'll find similar here for this year, pile 6. I feel like if something comes easily, it's meant to happen. If there's too many delays, if there's too much jumbled up, there's 2 reasons as to why. Either it's not meant for you, or people are kind of wanting to knock you off course because it would benefit them more for you to be on a different path rather than the one you want or the one that you are meant for. Because I keep hearing that with divine destiny. I heard destiny swap. And I know not everybody believes in that. Like, I don't feel like everybody destiny swaps, but I definitely experienced it a lot, especially when I was younger, especially because there were certain things that I swore I would do that the people around me ended up doing. And I was like, how is that? How did they end up doing that when I was the one who did this, you know? They destiny swapped. Or I don't know if I destiny swapped with them, because trust me, I would not have decided on certain things. But regardless, it doesn't benefit you to look back at the past too much. Definitely focus more on the now and where you can go right now. That is a form of self-love, is to get yourself back on track and to acknowledge and focus on your growth. This is a form of self-love, simplifying things and having more fun, playing more. Joy and play here. Definitely focusing on maybe the physical body. Like, maybe it would help to do something that is like physically fun. Like, I'm thinking of a workout that is fun. I'm thinking of jumping on a trampoline for some of you. Maybe that's fun for you. Or for me, it's always dancing. Dancing is fun. Things like that. Or even just going outside and releasing energy. Swimming. Swimming's another one coming through for some of you. So with that said, let's move on to the tarot. I love the messages so far. We're getting back on track. So for pile 6, I wasn't intending to do 7 piles. I'm actually doing 7. I was going to do like 4 or 5. But I asked the universe, they were like, do 7. I was like, dang, okay, let me do more. So I'm sorry if the piles are a little bit inconsistent, like with certain things that I may pull out, because I'm not sure what I started with. So for January, for my pile 6, we have the King of Pentacles. Okay. This is my pile. There's somebody coming in that is going to help with stability. This is somebody who really wants to be there for you. It feels like a friend, or at least at first they're a friend. They could have the potential to become something else, but this is somebody who shows up for you. For some of you, it could be a family member who you can really rely on, and you may have to get their help or rely on them this month. But for a lot of you, it feels like an outside friend who you make quick friends with because they're very reliable. They help you out with a lot. They're a sense of stability when everything or everyone else around you doesn't seem to be as stable. This person does not have to be an earth sign, but this is earth sign energy. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But you can rely on this person. And I feel like they're going to be a little bit of a rock for you this month for sure. I'm getting strong Capricorn just because January is Capricorn season. You might even celebrate their birthday that month for some of you. But regardless, there's something here about setting something in stone or kind of securing something. Take that as it resonates. but I'm seeing this person being rather pivotal. It's kind of like they show up and they really want to be there for you, or you meet them and they kind of become an invaluable source of information or help in some way. So I like this energy because I feel like for the majority of you, it's not you, it's somebody else coming through. So for February, for my pile 6, also this doesn't have to be a man. It's just masculine energy. So even if it's a woman, she's got like a very strong, secure sense of self and takes control or the lead very easily. If it's a man, I feel like they just embody very stereotypically masculine roles as well. So for February, we have the Ace of Wands, making plans and getting them done. I love this because February, you're inspired, you're creating new things, you're doing new things. I feel like there's something here about, I just keep hearing making plans, and that's how Wands has been coming through in a lot of these piles for this reading. This could also be the inspiration to start something new. This is not a love reading. I do have a separate 2026 love and romance reading, which I'll put in the description below. But this is giving, like, if you wanted to start something with somebody, especially something very passionate, it could in February. So you might have an actual spicy kind of Valentine's Day. But again, this isn't a love reading, so I would check those first just to make sure. But overall, I do see you being full of passion for something again, or being inspired. So for March, for my pile 6, we have Strength. How did this one come out? Interesting. This is you. Oh, it's facing towards the future. And it's interesting when cards do that, because you saw it literally both times that I threw it, it faced that way. You are either gathering literal strength for another day, for the future, or you're amplifying some things for the future. There's something here about really thinking about what's going on in the future. You're focused on the future in March. So you're trying to better your circumstances, better your health, better your finances, better your situation, so that you can do something in the near future. I feel like March, you're really focused on what's coming and and not so much what you're leaving behind. So I kind of really like that. In fact, I'm going to leave it that way because it is facing forward. So whatever you're doing it for your future or the future of others. Or for some of you, I'm getting like you're training for something, literal physical training, like training for a marathon or, something along those lines. Or at least that mentality. This could also be studying for a test or something along those lines. Again, I'm hearing saving up money for like a big trip or some sort of a big purchase that you might be making. So definitely planning. So what do we have for April? We have the 5 of Swords reversed. A good card to have reversed, because here I'm seeing what you are noticing is worth your time and energy and what isn't. It's like, what is worth fighting for? What is worth having a conversation over? And what is worth just kind of leaving off to the side? Because I feel like you're only focusing on that which is worthy of being focused on. Like if it's something that is important, you're going to focus on it. If it's something that's only distracting you and it's not really anything solid, you're not going to worry with it. I kind of love that mentality, because April, you're not really going to focus on the things you can't help. You're not going to focus on the things that only bring you negativity. Instead, you're focusing on that which is important, whatever may be important for you. So I feel like you have a good sense of discernment this year for sure. I'm loving how you're starting off the year though. I feel like you're making it a point to focus on the important things and not focus on anything that is frivolous, ridiculous, or even like anything that causes drama. So lots of good self-discipline this year for sure. All right, what do we have for May for my pile? For pile 6, we have the 9 of Swords. Can I get a clarification on the 9 of Swords? Because I do see the anxiety amping up in May for some reason. The Star. I feel like you've given up on something or you've lost hope for something, and it's kind of making you spiral. Because did I not mention there would be a spiral or a crash out? And I feel like May is when you see this, or when you may experience this. So it's good to know ahead of time, so you will know not to either to take the measures to prevent this from happening, or to make it a point
take care of yourself. Like if there's anything coming up in May that could be a big deal, you could decide to just take things slowly. Do whatever you need to do in order to protect specifically your mental health or your anxiety. Because I feel like whatever this is, it puts you in a negative space, unfortunately, because I feel like you've lost hope for something. I'm trying to see what it is. And I'm actually being shown, I don't want to share it, but Spirit's calling me too. So May is like my birth month, and I remember a long time ago, I made plans with like my best friend at the time. We are no longer friends, to do something for my birthday. But then something came up, and it was some other sort of, I think it was a party or a gathering. I forget what it was. And they prioritized that over me when we had made previous plans before. And I remember getting really upset over that. But people were telling me not to get upset because it was literally, this person allowed somebody else to tell me that it wasn't that important, that my birthday wasn't important. And I was like, how was I supposed to react in a positive, good way to that? You know, like looking back at it, because at the time I tried to like this friend wanted to make up and they wanted to be in a better place with me. Like they wanted to come back and be in my life. But when I think about things like that, it's like nobody who cares about anybody would, well, one, make that decision. Or if they did, at least they wouldn't have allowed somebody else to tell me that what I wanted wasn't important when it clearly was. It's so weird that that's coming through. So there could be something along those lines. It was just, I look back at that and I wonder how I found myself in that kind of space, because the me now would never, I swear. But I'm being shown something along those lines where you try to make the best of it, but it's really just going to show you what's meant for you and what's not meant for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person, though it could be. It could also be a situation. I feel like you're seeing the reality of something in May as well. But there is a little bit of a clash of what the universe is showing versus what you want. And that could be the thing that is causing this kind of, it is an upsetting kind of energy, unfortunately, but at least you're knowing now in advance before that month hits so that you can react accordingly. I'm not saying that you should crash out, but you know how to protect yourself from it going forward. So let's move on to June. Yeah, the friend who allowed people to say that because they saw it. Like it was a message in a message board. And I'm like, I know you saw that. I know you allowed them to say that. This was before the time of screenshots, but still, like, ooh, just... I've moved on, but even just thinking about it, I'm like, how did I put myself in that position? How did that happen? How did that friend think they were my friend? All right, so anyway, June. We have the Nine of Wands. You're standing up for yourself. You're taking care of things on your own. You're definitely very independent in June. So I'm getting the energy also that you're not putting effort into things that don't matter. So it's interesting. I'm wondering if there's somebody here who is acknowledging that you're doing a lot of positive things and they kind of want to mess with your energy for some reason. Because like I said, you start off the year really great. You're strengthening yourself in some way, shape, or form. You have inspiration. You're not focusing on the negativity. Instead, you're focusing on the positive. But then come around May, like somebody here is noticing that. It's like, oh wait, pile 6 is doing too well for themselves. And suddenly you're on edge because you're like, who's here is trying to knock me off my path? Because again, I heard that energy of destiny swap. Maybe somebody's trying to do that with you this year. And you're trying to guard yourself against it. I'm going to get a clarifier for that. Because I do feel like if it's not one person, it could be multiple people. And especially if you're on social media and you have like a large platform of where multiple people can see it, sometimes it's better to not show off. Which I know maybe people don't want to hear that because we're definitely in a generation where we want to show everything and everything we do to everyone. That's kind of how it is now. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not against it at all. I love seeing people on their travels doing cool things. But there is like this envious eye here for you, pile 6. So let me get clarification on who this is. 4 of Wands. I need more clarification. Someone who has a hard time letting go of the kind of person you used to be. This could be a group of people or this could be one person. But I'm getting the energy of like either a few people or one person. It could be a couple because there's like two people here. Maybe it's like a couple that you're friends with. But it's somebody or something here that has a hard time letting go of the person they knew you as because somehow it benefited them for you to be in a particular setting or a particular space more than it benefits them for you to grow and do your own thing. So I'm getting a little bit of that. For some of you, it could be somebody that, because I'm seeing a couple. Maybe it's a couple that like rents out something to you or hosts a lot of things for you. For some of you, it could be like friends that you have that are together, but they like you third wheeling around because it helps them finance their things. I know that sounds dumb, but I've literally seen that before. Like maybe this couple likes to go on vacations and they include you in it because you will pay half of the trip, even though I don't know, it's something weird like that. So there is like this outside energy. If it's not a couple, it could just be one person or a group of friends. Again, a group of friends that benefits from you staying how you are. And I see midway through the year, you're kind of struggling with this. You're balancing it. That's where the wavering comes from. All right, let's move on to July. I do see you leaving behind this group or these people because I feel like you're finally waking up to it. And I'm not saying you stop being friends with them, but this could just be you distancing yourself from it. Queen of Swords. Yeah, you see through it. I love the Queen of Swords. Love her because she sees through everything. She's intelligent. She's the kind of smart that doesn't always show her intelligence unless she needs to, unless she is kind of forced to. Because I was seeing this meme, or not a meme, a TikTok. What was it? Or this person only pretended to be dumb, but they were really smart because when they pretended to be dumb, then they got away with way more and they were able to quote, quote, manipulate people more, which I don't agree with that mentality. I'm very honest. Like I like intelligence, but I also like honesty. But here it feels like you kind of have to play chess. It feels like you kind of have to be a little strategic with the people around you. So it's not that you're being deceptive because you want to. It's more like because you have to. I feel like you recognize the pattern of what happened midway through the year. So now you're playing your cards close to your chest. Now it's like, well, now I can't let anybody know any moves. And I don't like it because it forces you to be in like, again, this deceptive energy. But it's like, if you're not, then you won't get ahead. If you're not, then you won't be able to do something here. This is also keeping secrets, keeping to yourself, because low key, I feel like the Queen of Swords is more closely related to the High Priestess than the Empress, even though all the queens are the Empress. The Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups to me are more the High Priestess, which I don't know if that's ever been written in any book, but it's giving that, where you kind of have to be strategic about something. During Cancer and Leo season of all the signs, and I feel like those two signs like to be open and honest about how they're feeling, but here you're having to play you're having to be strategic. You're having to play according to some invisible game, because if you don't, then things will go wrong. So this is what it feels like. This is like, for example, you know how you can't tell your parents the whole truth? Because if you do, well, not everybody, but for some people out there, maybe some of you have really cool parents and you can be completely honest with them. Not everybody has that privilege. But for the people who don't have that privilege, it's like you can't tell your parents everything, because if you did, then you'd start getting a lecture, or they would put restrictions on you, or they would start freaking out. It's that kind of energy. So I feel like you're having to step into that. It's like, what do I say? What do I do? What do I post? What do I not post? You're kind of having to scrutinize yourself. You're kind of having to control yourself because it feels like you're playing chess. So that's July. And then we're going to move on to August. I wonder if some of you have a name that is a month, because every time I said things like April and August and June, I kept hearing people stand up like in a classroom. That's kind of funny. Or May. May's another birthday. I wonder if anybody's named like November or something. I'd be that person. It's like, I'm gonna name my kid January. Jan for short. I'm kidding. Okay. So August, we have the Two of Swords. Complete silence. Yeah, you're not talking to anybody about anything. I feel like you've been scarred so much by what happened towards the end of the year. Sorry, towards the end of the spring and the beginning of summer. That at this point, you're just not telling anybody anything. And people might even have to like pry some information from you, which it could annoy certain people. Like the the people who don't have anything against you or who don't have any nefarious reasons, they may have to pry information from you. And it kind of breaks my heart because it's like, what did they do to deserve that? But on the other hand, you just can't trust anybody. So I am seeing you step into that energy, at least for the time being, at least for this portion of the year. So again, secretive energy. You're not letting anybody know anything they don't need to know. And it's unfortunate that something in this year may have caused some trust issues, but it taught you a lesson, right? But I do feel like you will continue to talk to the people closest to you. All right, so for September. Six of Wands. Okay. The Hierophant. Yes, what did I say? What did I say? So the Hierophant to me is a karmic lesson card. I know for everybody else it's like literally anything else. But here, me personally, I take it as a karmic lesson because it's the lessons we learn in a lifetime. Lessons that are sometimes passed down or that are learned. And here, I'm hearing a difficult victory. It's like you get what you want, but you wished you hadn't learned the things. Either you wish you hadn't learned things the way you had to learn them. It's like you wish it had been easier. So I'm also getting a little bit of regret because you do get what you want here with the Six of Wands. Had this come out reversed, I feel like you wouldn't have, but it's like you won, but at what cost? You gained something, but you lost something along the way. This would be like, again, examples, because it's just better to illustrate this with examples. Let's say you get the job you've always wanted and it's like this amazing 6-figure job and you can make your own schedule and it's not too difficult. You worked hard to achieve that job. Maybe you studied something really intensive in school. So you worked hard for that job. The problem is that there was envy around you. It's like the people around you didn't like you making that much money or felt envious, or they felt that you thought you were better than them when the truth is you don't, and you just kind of stepped into something new. And you had to learn the hard way what people were going along with you on this new chapter of your life and who was remaining, who was going to have to stay, and who you had to set boundaries with. Because I'm seeing the example I'm being shown. Again, you get this job and then like your parents start complaining about it, or suddenly they need more money for everything. And it's like, are you good? Is this life that I have now not okay with you? Does it not sit well with you? I'm getting that kind of energy here for the month of September. And I say it because I've seen it. Unfortunately, I've seen people lose friends because they have like a high-ranking job, or people move away to like a new town or a new country, and suddenly everybody from their old place just stops talking to them. Because why? You know, if they were truly friends, they would continue talking, messaging, video chatting, etc. So I'm getting that kind of energy. Or let's say you get into a relationship or you get married and suddenly certain people just don't act the same way. Like maybe you find out you have a friend who's always liked you and suddenly they crash out and they don't want anything to do with you. And it's like, well, you were never really my friend. You know, you were just kind of playing some sort of game until you thought I was going to give in. But, you know, it's kind of that kind of energy. Like you win, you get something you wanted, but you lose something along the way. And it's a harsh reality. So I love that you're really amping yourself up to be very successful this year. But at the same time, there's like a lot of realities. A lot of things come crashing down in order for you to get to this point. But the things that you lose are things that were not meant for you to begin with. In fact, you found that back out in April. That focusing on your growth would mean leaving behind things that were not going to allow you to grow. And I feel like that's the heavy realization, because in September, I feel like you usually start making plans for like, if there's any holidays towards the end of the year, maybe you start making those plans and you realize that certain people won't be there, or that you won't be having that same kind of a celebration. So yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a, maybe it's not such a harsh reality. Maybe it's just a reality that you have to live with. But I don't see you, like, there's remorse, but at the same time, it's like what's stuck in the past is stuck in the past and you can't change that. So let's move on to October. This pile is so interesting because every time I bring up something negative, I feel like you're okay with it, or like you've either done it so much before that it's like, okay, that checks out, you know? So October, they have Temperance reversed. So I feel like balance is really a theme in October. You may have a hard time balancing, or you may not know what to balance out. Like you may not know what to focus on. Mostly because you have a lot going on. I feel like October gets busy for you, or everything starts being a little bit more. You might like this if you have a lot of energy, but I see you easily being either over, you might, what's the word? You might overexert your energy, or you might tire yourself out. Some of you could be doing this on purpose. Maybe you want to work a little more to ignore some of the things that are going on, because it's giving workaholic energy. It's also giving like, for those of you who have habits that you turn to when you get really stressed, that could pick up as well. So be careful with that. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to do every now and then, but make sure it doesn't become a permanent habit again. Because I'm thinking of people who, like, for example, who smoke, or used to smoke. Like, maybe every now and then when they get super stressed, they'll, like, you know, light one up, but it's just for that day or for that week or whatever. I'm getting that because I'm literally seeing that. Because there are people I didn't know who smoked, like people I've kind of known for a while now. And then I see them with a cigarette and I'm like, wait, what? Did you smoke? It's like, yeah, I've just been really stressed. I swear I'll quit. It's just this week has been a lot. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. You know, at least in the US. In the US, where it's very anti-smoking here. Like, it's rare that you see it. People don't do it as much as, like, for example, in other countries. Because when I travel abroad, it's everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I forgot that's still a thing. Or vaping, I guess. But that's just an example. Maybe for some of you, again, it's workaholism. You might be throwing yourself into work, or even like working out excessively. Or for me, it's chocolate. I kind of gave up chocolate pretty well this year, like, as opposed to eating. I don't even want to say how much I ate, but like, I'm down to only having like one little piece a day now, as opposed to having like a whole chocolate bar. But I'm sure if I was in a very stressful mood, I'd probably go back to that. Not saying it's a bad habit, but that's just a bad habit I know I have that I could do better by. But anyway, that's what I see for October, especially during Scorpio season. I see that more during Scorpio season. So November for pile 6. The Fool. We're starting new things in November. Most people wait until after the holidays, or they wait until January. No, you're starting in November because you're like, screw it. Screw it. I want this new beginning, because I feel like you really enjoy a blank slate or the ability to start anew. And that makes sense because, again, strong Scorpio energy here. Scorpio is all about rebirth, starting anew, scratching everything, throwing everything away, and building yourself from the ground up. So I feel like you're really feeling that energy in November. And if you feel it then I feel like you have to heed that call. You know, if that's what you feel, if that's what you're being called to, do it. Even though everybody else may tell you to wait. I feel like you need to start it at that point for whatever reason. And then for December, we have the Page of Pentacles. I love it. It's kind of cute because we begin with the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, we begin with the King of Pentacles, and then we end with the Page of Pentacles. Some of you could have children. Sometimes pages can signify children, or you may be looking after a child. I'm going to get a clarifier because I feel like this Page of Pentacles isn't you. It's somebody else. I did feel the Queen of Swords being you. I did feel that. But this particular page is somebody else as well. You could be like an air sign surrounded by a lot of earth signs. Because, I'm thinking of like, and I know people like this, people who are an air sign, but everybody in their family is an earth sign. So like, I have a Gemini friend and she's got a bunch of Capricorns in her family. Her husband and kids are Capricorn. Well, at least they think her kids are Capricorns. But regardless, surrounded by Capricorns. Or like, I see that a lot in families. There tends to be a particular sign that runs rampant in that family. In mine, it's Sagittarius and Capricorn, ironically. I have a lot of those, and some Libras, a good splattering of Libras as well. I'm one of 2 or 3 Tauruses in my entire family. And I have a huge family, so I don't know how that happens. But let's see who this person is. We have the 8 of Wands. This is cute. 2 ways of seeing this. Either you are briefly looking after a child, and that could definitely impact you. This would be, for example, let's say you have nieces or nephews. You could be watching them for like a weekend, or you could be taking them in for the holidays. You know, when kids have that week off of school, or 2 weeks. I don't know how long it is. And you decide, okay, yeah, they can stay at my house. We're going to have it here anyway, you know, something like that. Like you might decide to look after them. Or if this is applicable, and only if you know this could be you, you could be having a kid in December, either giving birth or conceiving one, whichever makes sense, because I do see that for some of you here. Eight of Wands, because it happens quickly. Like whatever this is, it's either a flash or like before you know it, you're pregnant. Before you know it, you could have a kid early. Those of you having, again, if you already know you're going to be expecting by December, for those of you planning, you could have your kid earlier. Because I remember my sister telling me that my nephew was, I think she said 3 weeks early or something like that. I don't know. He was a few weeks early. Because he was born after Christmas, the 26th. And I thought that was kind of fun. Because yeah, we weren't expecting that. We were not expecting that at all. I remember the picture of her right before, like literally Christmas Day, we took pictures. And then the next day, boom, he was here. So I'm getting that. And I also know certain people having kids in December, or who have had kids in December. For whatever reason, they like to be early. So that's just, or if you know somebody, they might be early in December. I think they see all the fun stuff happening and the kids are like, oh, let me be born now. So that's what happens. But that's what I have for you for 2026. This was a really fun one. Like even the negative stuff, I feel like you know how to handle it. Like you're not afraid of a challenge. It's like you've done worse. You've gone through worse. Love this energy. Maybe some of you have a lot of Capricorn in your chart for sure. All right, so we're going to finish with some certain key dates. Astro dice. I feel like I didn't do astro dice for all the piles. If so, I'm sorry if you came from a different pile that didn't have that. We have February, innovative, progressive, rebellious, humanitarian, sensitive, and social. February could be, I feel like it's really an important month because you start something in February that could be long lasting. Or at the very least impactful. Aquarius season could be important, but also Pisces season. We have 29. Time for change, fulfilling, joyful, listen to your heart, confident, trust in yourself. I don't think this is a leap year. Because I was thinking of the 29th of February, but maybe some of you are born that day. That's the leap day, right? I want to say it is. But the 29th of any month could be important as well. But yeah, time for change, fulfilling, joyful, listen to your heart, confidence, and trust in yourself. We also have the 18th, accomplishment, inspiration, ambitious, dominant, energetic, outstanding, artistic talents. I like the 18th because I was born the 18th. Maybe some of you were as well. February 18th could be important. And I actually know a lot of people born on the 18th of certain months. So yeah, great energy there. We have 12, growth, inspiration, positive attitude, eliminate negativity, focus on your life purpose. That's how I feel like you're really acting this whole year. Like you're not focusing on the negativity. Like, yes, it's there, but it's like, how can I get rid of it? Or how can I walk around it? It's like whatever negativity, you're just not focusing on it, or you're not letting it like become your life. It's like you'd rather navigate around it somehow. December could also be important, or the 12th of any month. One more. Oh, okay, I guess 2 more. Never mind. We have Tuesday and March. Oh, March could be important. Observant, emotional, compassionate, imaginative, dreamer. February, March could be important. And then Tuesdays of any Tuesday. Adventurous, courageous, productive, start new projects. You're going to start a lot of new things this year. It's going to be a great time. Like, I feel a lot of fiery, it's like a combination of earth and fire, like very steady, fiery energy that really lasts the whole year and will definitely guarantee you success of some sort because you have that ambition, you have that drive. Success, me personally, success is a habit once you know how to discipline yourself. It's not a stroke of luck. It's not just something that happens upon you. Success is a habit because you set yourself up for it. And I'm definitely feeling that energy in this pile. Mars, yeah, you're going to have a lot of energy this year. Aries, love it. I love Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, or vice versa. Mars is ruled by Aries. So lots of energy to get a lot of things done. Some of you could literally have Mars in Aries. So you're definitely natural go-getters to begin with. Like, you do things. It wouldn't surprise me if you're listening to this while you're out and about doing your thing, as opposed to just sitting at home, snacking, what's it called? Rotting on the couch, or what's it called? Bed rotting? Bed rotting. I don't believe in bed rotting unless I'm sick or something, or just completely exhausted. You won't find me doing that. So I love this energy. I love a good Mars in Aries.
And then the fourth house. So something about the family or the home or even the chosen family could be really important. This could be going back to your roots or setting roots. So again, if I'm thinking of like buying a home, starting a family, that would be a really great endeavor for you, or you would have a lot of luck with that this year. Pile 6. This is my longest pile so far. It's kind of interesting because everybody else I think got like 20 something minutes. You get almost 40. Last card. I thank my body parts. Example, I am thankful for my hands and for all the ways they help me. Yeah, you're really going to be focusing on your body or like strengthening or improving your body if that is applicable, but also just thankful for the small things I think is going to go a long way this year for you. But this is where I leave it, pile 6. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 7. If you chose the Lucid Dreams Tarot, then we have your reading here for you for the year 2026. We're going to see what 2026 has in store for you. Already, I'm getting such an amped up kind of feeling for this pile. You're going to have fun. You're going to have a lot of fun this year, I can already tell. Or you're just that kind of person who like brings fun everywhere you go. We're going to start off with the oracles and we're going to get into the tarot. We're going to do it on a month-by-month basis. So for my pile... For pile 7, we're going to start with your oracles. We have Divine Guardian, Protection of the Winged Mother. We have Yggdrasil. Oh, I love this card. Yggdrasil is the mythological, the mythological tree of wisdom and I guess of life in Norse mythology. This is the tree that Odin hung on to gain the knowledge and wisdom and the runes for his people. Love this card. I love Norse mythology. I also love trees. Maybe trees are of importance to you, but Yggdrasil is very symbolic for me. So I love this pile already. Morana, endurance. Oh, you're gonna have what it takes to go the distance for sure. We have Purity, Lotus, number 33. Some of you could be a life path 33 like myself. But Lotus makes me think of coming up from almost nothing or from like the dark depths of something to be this beautiful blossoming pure looking person. But that's the irony, is that you may look pure, but you're not. You've gone through a lot. It's taking you a lot to be the person that you are. It's kind of like when you find people who are very wise and very just well put together, and then you find out their backstory and it can be like really tragic or dark. It's that kind of energy. I feel like you're either stepping into that or you're already that. We have magic happens when you most expect it, number 44. Lots of what do they call these? Master numbers. So some of you could also be a life path 44. Interesting. Lots of mirroring numbers. And then we have birth, open, flow, and wish. Oh, these tell a story because we have the wish and then things flow and then they open, or they open and then they flow. And then something is created. There is something, well, first of all, truly divine about this pile. And second of all, you could literally be manifesting something into completion this year. Like you manifested at the beginning of the year, you make your wish, and then something opens and it flows, or it flows and then it opens, and then something is created. There is literally like a whole process here of something happening. It's like you have a whole story playing out. So Yggdrasil means, to me, it means intuition. It also means the basis, the foundation of where things begin, of where things start, because that's kind of how Norse mythology began with Odin. Well, at least I think that's how it began. I don't even know the origin stories of the Norse mythology. I know about it because when I first meditated, when I had my spiritual awakening, I saw a man in a tree with an eyeball that was popping out. That's literally him. That's his whole thing. That's why he wears the eye patch. I didn't realize until after the fact that that's what that was, because I was like, that was weird. That was trippy. What did I see? I saw Odin and Yggdrasil. And it's weird because that's not my background. I have no Nordic ancestry whatsoever. I am Mexican. I am... grew up Catholic, so I didn't get any of those. I didn't get like Mayan, Aztec. Nope, I didn't get like the Judeo-Christian mythologies. No, I got Norse, so it must have been like a past life thing. For some of you, there could be something here about being very divinely protected by your past lives, because I'm kind of seeing like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where he sees like all his reincarnations and they all kind of come together for him, and he kind of gains that wisdom from those past lives. However far back they go, I'm getting a little bit of that. So you must have really strong spirits that could even be versions of yourself from the past, like a past life, or There's just something very divine about this particular pile. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I feel like you're going to create something here. It's going to be amazing. And people are going to wonder. But the truth is, your secret is really just truly believing in the magic and believing in yourself. And believing that the divine can bring in something for you that others cannot. And if people don't want to believe that, that's on them. You know, you're okay with people not believing your process or believing your own beliefs. You're just like, well, it works for me. It could work for you, but you're on your path and I'm on mine. Truly love this energy because it's very much kind of like my energy. Maybe some of you meet like a kindred spirit, somebody who like you really vibe with, that you are on like this similar wavelength. Because it definitely feels like there's an effortlessness to this year for you. Because like I said, you're being protected. You've always been protected, but you're also not afraid to go deep into the roots of something because both Lotus and Yggdrasil, very similar energies actually. In fact, I don't know if it shows up in the image up here, but on the camera, but the colors here are very similar. There's like a not blue green, a little bit of blue green here, but like a pink and a blue mixed together, like almost like opposing colors. Here it's more like a navy and a orange. I'm thinking of opposite colors or like opposite energies. Think of like a yin and yang coming together. So that could be important here. But regardless, I feel like whatever you set your mind to this year, you're going to accomplish just through sheer belief in yourself, the universe, and what it has to expand for you. Very divinely protected, very divinely guided. And yeah, you're going to create some beautiful things here. But let's move on to the tarot. For this one, I feel like you already know what you're here for. Maybe you're just here for confirmation of something. Pile 7. I also wasn't expecting to make 7 piles, but I was called to do so. I wanted to do 5, and universe is like, nah, do 7. I was like, well, okay, geez. I guess I will do 7. Okay, so we're going to start with the months. January, what's happening for my pile 7. We have the Queen of Swords. Love her. Love her. I don't read all the words up here, but if you're interested in this deck, it's an amazing deck, the Lucid Dreams Tarot. It's great for beginners. But she is one that sees through everything. She sees through everything. She has a clear mindset. She's got a very defined way of thinking, and it never fails her. Or she can come up with various plans, and her way of thinking in a particular strategy never fails her. So I see you making plans at the beginning of the year, almost foolproof plans, or even just cutting through a lot of the crap in order to be able to see things clearly. So especially during Aquarius season, because she is an air sign, I feel like here we're dealing a lot with energies of like, what do you want to do? What do you not want to do? Some of you, especially if you're into like New Year's resolutions, the resolutions you decide to take upon, you will actually do. So it might be a great time to make a list of plans or things that you want to do this year and be surprised with how many you actually get accomplished by the end of the year. So yeah, you're making plans, you're doing things. You're also, I'm getting detachment decording. So maybe you're going to release a lot of the old energy from the previous year or even just from that holiday season. So love that energy for you. Love it. Let's get the rest of your cards. For February, we have the Ten of Swords reversed. I love it. The card itself says recovery, regeneration, moving on, even stronger, which again, all the work you did in January leads to this. It's like the Queen of Swords knows how to pull out those swords in a way that is healing, in a way that will not damage on the way out. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think when you pull out a sword, it can be more damaging because it allows the I hope I don't get censored for this, but you know, it's just bad for you somehow because then you start bleeding out and then, you know, but here it's like she's very skilled at this. It's like, this is my territory. I know what to do here. I'm going to be fine. Ooh, love it. Love this energy. So whatever happens in these first 2 months, you're made for it. You've planned for it, or you're prepared for it for sure. Don't doubt yourself because there's no reason to, for sure. Pile 7. Also, number 7 is like a very spiritual number. So maybe some of you are a life path 7. For March, we have the moon reverse, secrets revealed. Yes, I love it. So something is coming to the light. Some sort of truth is revealed. Some sort of, again, it's the clarity. I don't know what you do back in January or the beginning of this year, pile 7. Maybe this is just how you are. But you're really setting yourself up for a lot of honesty. And maybe that's one of the things that you really want this year, is like the truth to be exposed, the truth to be revealed, or you could just really see through people. And the truth can't hide from you, or at least not for long, because that's what I'm seeing. Also, Year of the Horse is one of those more honest kind of signs anyway, so that I guess that shouldn't be too surprising. Maybe some of you are Year of the Horse, or Year of the Horse is opening things up to, it's kind of like honesty even when it's inconvenient. It's honesty even when it's not the best thing to hear. You would rather hear it than have to wonder whether somebody is being deceptive or not. And that's what's coming through. That's like a whole theme for the first 3 months. So, April. We have the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Can I get clarification? Because the Knight of Cups is reversed. This could be like a secret crush that comes through, or even like a lover that wants to come back. Yeah, this is like unexpected somebody coming back, or somebody gets their ish together. This is like somebody finding out that they could be losing you, or that you no longer see them in a positive light. So they come back and it's like, wait, let me make it up. Wait, I don't want this to end. Like, this is giving an ultimatum and somebody like quickly fixing themselves up. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, because I'm intending this reading to be mostly non-romantic. I do have the Love 2026 tarot up, so I'll leave that in the description below. But this could be either a friend, family member, somebody who has some sort of love or had some sort of love for you, getting their ish together, because they're acknowledging that you don't put up with anything. Like you don't put up with any nonsense. You don't put up with dishonesty. Again, there's that main theme of honesty coming through. Again, I wonder if this is just something you pull out of people, because I know there's super intuitive people who do this. Because they ask for clarity, or they're able to just see through a lot, because you're definitely embodying this Queen of Swords energy for the rest of the year, it feels like. So somebody here, either they get with the program or they don't. In some cases, this could be somebody falling off because they realize that it's too much for them. But this could also be them wanting to come back around, whichever makes more sense here. But regardless, I see somebody. The Knight of Cups is not you. This is somebody else, confused or deciding to be, I don't think they're chaotic. It's just like, I'm tapping into their energy and they don't know what to do. Like, they don't know how to think on their feet, or they just don't know what to believe, or there's definitely a fear of commitment. Or if there's not, then there's like a fear of losing you, or losing out on a great opportunity with you. So that's what I'm getting for April. For May, I'm hearing, Aaliyah, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Love that song. That song comes through a lot in my readings. We have the Hierophant. It's interesting because it says personal beliefs here. I sometimes take this card as like, as karmic lessons, but personal beliefs make sense here, because here you're reassessing what you believe in, what you don't believe in. It's also very strong during Taurus season. Because May is a Taurus month, but also this is reevaluating what you believe or what you may not believe. And I'm not saying you're going to have a change of beliefs that easily, but if you do, it could be more like it's a spiritual or religious expansion here, which doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if you go through that quite often. It's kind of like opening up the mind, opening up the soul to see, I'm just seeing you be overwhelmed by opportunities, by timelines, by the sources and paths of healing, by all the truths that can exist all at one time. You're going to have like a mind-blowing experience in May, because it was just me tapping into this energy is a bit much. Again, I'm thinking of a spiritual awakening where you open up that third eye and you see a million things that seem to contradict themselves or not have anything to do with each other, all be true and vibrant and resonating at the same time. So it can lead to confusion or overwhelm, not gonna lie. But I do see you kind of, whatever this is, I don't even know if it's like something that happens naturally, if you take like ayahuasca or something along those lines, because it feels like you open up that literally third eye, crown, all of the above just kind of crack open, and you see all sorts of realities, and it's kind of beautiful. Like, I don't know how to put it into words exactly, but I do see you feeling overwhelmed, maybe possibly confused by everything that is true. And also your clairs are going to be amplified. So whatever your main version of your your intuitive powers like claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance, whichever one of those you resonate more with, it's going to be amplified to like the 10th degree or more. Because I'm trying to feel this out, but I'm just feeling like a million things at once that both make sense and don't make sense. It's trippy energy for sure. But it's pretty cool. And I'm not saying that you have to do anything. Like you can get into very trippy energy without any sort of substance or help or something like that. Because I've never had to do it. And I definitely have experiences like that just through sheer meditation. So that's what's happening in May. Have fun with that. Because it says new methods. It's weird because I don't think I've ever read this Hierophant card. Personal beliefs, non-commitment, challenging beliefs and authority, new methods, originality, rebellion, and unconventionality. But I'm also seeing, again, like you opening yourself up to something that you hadn't before. So let's go on to June. For pile 7. Yeah, super spiritual pile for sure. If you're not, choose another pile because you may not even be ready for this energy. In June, we have the 8 of Wands. June's going to go by fast. Things are going to happen really quickly. You could travel or you could just spend a lot of time kind of picking back up where you left off. But I see June coming in with the flash and you get a lot done. You also do a lot of things. Lots of fun as well. I do keep getting travel for some of you, but it could be like really quick travel. It's like you spend a week somewhere and it goes by in a flash. So that's what I have for June. Keeping it simple there because May was all over the place. Ooh, I love that energy. Whatever happens in May, I'm excited about it for you, pile 7. So July, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, you're starting something new. Or at the very least, setting the foundation work for something new. You're starting something solid. I feel like you needed that first half of the year to really set yourself straight, see through things, make plans, open up yourself. It's like you heal through going through difficult things. And after that, you like seek spiritual advancement. And who was this? There was a tarot reader who said that sometimes the best spiritual advancement and healing they get is after a heartbreak. Because I kind of was feeling that like in April and May. Like maybe you go through a heartbreak and you're like, I want to heal so deeply that I don't even see things the way I used to. And that's literally what happens. And because of that, it allows you to set new standards, new goals, something that will be long lasting. So it doesn't have to necessarily be something physical, though it could be, but you will set something new that's going to last you a lifetime. Of course, Pentacles does deal with like the material world. It could be like a new job. It could be a new way of living. It could be new roots somewhere because he did have Yggdrasil in the oracles, but you're setting yourself up for something long lasting in July. For August, we have the King of Swords reversed. Can I get clarification on this? 9 of Pentacles. Somebody here doesn't like that though. And I feel like they're going to try and put a damper on your goals and ambitions. Who this person is, I feel like it's more like, it feels like a parent who's trying to talk some common sense into you. But the thing is, common sense is not what's going to get you the life you want, nor will it get you success. If you were to think like everybody else, you're not going to get ahead, nor will you live the life that you want to live. Could you imagine if a lot of the people who are very innovative, like are, I don't know, philosophers, inventors, certain CEOs, like if they had thought like everybody else, they wouldn't be where they are. So it's like, why is somebody here expecting you to dumb yourself down or to think more quote, quote, logically? Because yes, swords can be logic, but sometimes logic gets in the way. It's like you need the balance of like whimsy and logic, of intuition and logic to get ahead. And here somebody is really trying to put a damper on you or trying to take from you in some way. But specifically, this card says irrational, dictator, controlling. It says controlling twice, actually. It's kind of funny. So this person could be really controlling, maybe slightly manipulative. So do be careful with the people who try to bring you down or try to say that what you are trying to do is not realistic nor sustainable, because they don't know. They don't know you. They don't operate like you. This person could never. And it's weird because this person does feel related to you in some way. So literally family, or it could be a friend, because you are the Queen of Swords. They're the King of Swords. So this would be like the negative side of the sword suit, which is a little too logical, that they don't put heart into anything. So do be careful with somebody trying to talk you down. It does feel like a parent though. This feels like a father, maybe a mother, or even like well-meaning adults who operate like parents, like aunts, uncles.
that just want to make you think logically, but it's like that's just not how it works sometimes. Sometimes you have to take a chance on yourself and your own dreams in order to make something come true. So be careful with people trying to talk you out of something in August. For September, we have the Emperor. Beautiful. You could either be stepping into this or you could be meeting somebody like this. I feel like this is mostly you stepping into Emperor energy, complete control. It's like you were trying to let a King of Swords reversed tell you how to be an emperor when they haven't been an emperor yet. So how dare they try to tell you how to go and live your life. But beautiful energy. I feel like you step into authority. You have complete control over yourself. You may start something. It's giving CEO. So maybe some of you could start a business that really takes off. Or you could start something here, or you just step into your masculine energy, that very positive masculine energy that you may have, because everybody has it. This could be somebody coming in for some of you, and not gonna lie, that really brings that out in you, whether it's a business partner, a friend, a potential lover maybe. Like I said, this is not a love reading, but I do have the 2026 love and romance. I already said that right. It's going to be in the description. But yeah, I do have that out here just in case that resonates with what you get there. So it could be somebody or it could be you or both. It's just like two emperors joining forces to create something amazing. So love that energy. Let's move on to October. We have the Lovers reversed. Ooh, why is she reversed? The first word that is up here is self-love, but I want to see why the Lovers is reversed. For those of you already in a connection, this could mean that maybe you and your partner are having a disagreement of some sort, and therefore you have to rely on yourself. Yeah, there's an imbalance here. Okay, because the second word is imbalance. So I feel like if there's somebody that you have to work things out with, again, doesn't have to be a lover, it could be a business partner or a friend or a family member. There's something here about setting boundaries and or setting things in balance, because I feel like things have gotten off balance, or you're trying to make things work, especially if you're with somebody, or if you, whoever this person is somebody that you don't really see eye to eye with on a lot of things. Because I do see couples like that. You know, you see people, opposites attract, and maybe one person is very spiritual and positive and the other person is more logical and not negative, but, you know, more realistic, I guess. And this is kind of like coming to terms where you can meet each other in the middle. So October is going to be a month of balancing things out between you and another person. Definitely a month of balancing things out, like seeing eye to eye. It's like, where can we meet in the middle? This could, again, I'm getting the energy of like a lover coming back. If things have gotten out of control, not out of control, but if they've gotten off balance, off course, they might come back. It's weird. I don't know if some of you have a partner or not, because I'm not trying to read that here, but I'm kind of getting that, where like you make things work. Go check out the love and romance for the new year, pile 7, because I feel like you keep trying to bring them in, or they're going to be like a major factor here. So for November, we have Temperance, balance, harmony, healing. Love it. So November, something positive is happening. Things are being set straight, almost without you having to do much. Or even if you do have some input, it's like things are working themselves out, especially by Sagittarius season, because Temperance is Sagittarius here. So love it. Love to see it. And then for December, we have the Knight of Swords. There could be a delay in some sort of communication, or let's get another card to clarify this. It's going to, oh yeah, okay, communication is going to slow down. This feels like Mercury retrograde energy. I don't know if we have one that month, but if not, take it as like a personal Mercury retrograde. Communication is slowing down, movement is slowing down, something is slowing down. Sometimes the holidays just does that because everybody's trying to order everything online, go places, travel, etc. So yeah, I feel like things are slowing down in December, but I think it's an okay thing because you've already worked really hard all year. So now it's just time to focus on, well, I guess not focus on anything, just enjoy the ride, you know, enjoy the ride. And Ace of Cups, this is beautiful. Again, the love, the self-love, the love of other people. I think what really drives you in life sometimes, pile 7, or most of the time really, is love for yourself and others.
because I kept feeling that everywhere. Because notice how you keep having people come back to you, or even when they're trying to tell you something, it's out of like wanting to protect you, or out of a fear that you're going to go down the wrong path. So even all the conflicts you have here are more due to the fact that there's so much love involved that it can blind people, or that it can motivate them even to change, or to just allow you to be yourself if they're not going to be of any use to you, you know? That's very interesting energy, but absolutely adore this energy. Let's go ahead and move on to your final cards. We're going to get some key dates for you. So from the Say When Oracle, these are going to be key dates. I'm going to pull 5 cards. I'm trying to hurry up because I'm running out of space on my camera. We have 24. Resolving disputes, not a leader. Desire to be an equal, instead harmony and family. You don't want to be in a position of leadership, even though it comes naturally to you, because you'd rather be on a team. I feel like you work better in a team and you prefer that. We have 11, karma, spiritual awakening, new beginnings, new opportunities, high energy, enthusiasm, and guidance. I was getting that very strongly for this pile. You could be a life path 11, or like I said, like one of those mirroring numbers. We have 33 and 44 as well. We have 1, new beginnings, positivity, progress, energy, determination, success, love, and independence. Yes, I love all these numbers for you. So January, November could be important. The 24th of those months. We have winter, end of a cycle, rebirth. I've been getting winter for a lot of the piles. But yeah, something is ending and something new is beginning. Or winter could be important. We have 20, beginning of spiritual journey. Think more about life mission, balance, big dreams come true. Oh yeah, super spiritual, like new beginnings in spirituality for you, for sure. Pile 7. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we have a long time. There is still a long way to go. Determine if the situation person is worth your time or not. So I wasn't really getting that bottom part, though. If it resonates, it resonates. But a long time lets me know that something here will last a long time because it has to, or because you set that up somehow, which is, I guess it's mostly positive, I guess, depending on what you want here. And then we have, rest is not something I need to earn. Make sure you're resting, because even though this pile is very high energy and I felt like a lot of inspiration to do something, don't be afraid to take breaks. You still need your breaks. You're still human. You have a human body that needs to sleep, eat, be watered and fed and clean. So make sure you're taking time for yourself, even on this big grand journey, this big beautiful year that you're having. And then your Astro dice. We have the 11th house. Interesting that 11 keeps coming through. Some of you could be life path 11, or the 11th house could be important. That would be friends and community. Sagittarius, again, spiritual expansion. You could travel a bit, or you could have like a lot of fun just exploring new things. And we have Pluto, very transformative year. Some of you could be of the Pluto and Sagittarius generation, or even Pluto in Aquarius, which we just stepped into, could be important. But this is where I leave it, pile 7. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care.